if it's challenged, may not pass the test. It's just a concern. I'm not saying that I'm right. It's just a concern.
The county's version says senior citizens of a certain age would qualify for the tax freeze, while the state's version says those who qualify for Social Security can qualify for the freeze. Drake says the state's qualifications would make those with pensions like firemen and teachers ineligible for the tax freeze. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Tillman Elementary School back in session today following the shooting incident at a trunk or treat on Sunday, allegedly involving Matthew McCullough, the St. Louis County officer who's now being charged.
Instead of classes Monday, all Tillman students were invited to meet at the school with counselors, social workers, and teachers to help cope with what happened. Steph Dietrich, Chief Communications Director for Kirkwood School District.
It's important to send the message to students that school is safe and that we have processes in place, people here to help keep them safe, and that there are going to be trusted adults that they can go to if they're concerned.
One classroom was turned into a game room. It was solely dedicated to the classic puzzle game Tetris.
We had a local pediatrician make us aware that there was recently some research that said that if individuals play Tetris shortly after a traumatic event, they may be less likely to develop PTSD. When we heard that, we made Tetris available.
School even had a 10-year-old golden retriever named Noah on hand to comfort kids. Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
From the KMOX business desk, excess property from the U.S. Army now available for redevelopment. It's 16.5 acres on Goodfellow and Schweitzer that's owned by the city, which is seeking proposals for development. The Land Clearance for Redevelopment Authority would like to see a retail-anchored multiple-use development, citing the land's visibility and size, as well as the lack of quality retail options for people in North St. Louis. RFPs are due by November 20th. The Dow from Stifel this hour down 24 points at 33,960. The S&P 500 is down 9 points at 4,363. The forecast for today.
KMOX AccuWeather, some areas of fog locally dense in the low spots this morning. Otherwise, sunshine, nice up to near 70 today. Mainly clear down the upper 40s tonight. Breezy, pleasant tomorrow with mostly sunny skies. A high getting up to 76. Breezy with sun and clouds and maybe a shower late in the day Thursday. The high in the upper 60s. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Dean DeVore and the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Currently, we have sunny skies, 52 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
It's the Chris and Amy Show. Check it out.
St. Louis, Mound City, we are going to have a great day today.
Now, Amy Mark scores Chris Ranji on KMOX.
Let's take it from the top.
Good morning, friends.
Good morning,
It's
friends.
Chris and Amy on KMOX.
And
Amy,
it's Tuesday.
oh, Temp Tag Tuesday.
That's right.
Happy Temp Tag Tuesday, Amy.
Thank you, Raj.
Hope you're having a fantastic morning so far. Guess what? Going to get a whole lot better.
It's going to get great.
314-436-7900 to visit with us. You can also text the show, same number. Voicemails at 314-944-1120. Yeah, let's get serious here, Amy. You've been joking around a little bit too much today. And so it's time to put on your game face.
Okay.
And we're on Twitter, Threads, and Instagram. So if you have those apps, download them. And you can follow us at Chris Amy KMOX.
Time now for the top of the order. The top 3 stories everybody will be talking about.
Of course, we will have an update from Israel with the conflict with Hamas. Leland Vittert at the bottom of the hour, correspondent at News Nation, will be joining us with the latest.
And the Speaker of the House vote is scheduled for 11 a.m. our time today. Jim Jordan is the front runner. He may be short a few votes. We'll be following that situation.
And there was a shooting at an elementary school. Nobody was injured, but it was an event that happened over the weekend, and it turns out a county police officer was involved. What a strange story, and we will discuss that on the show today. Again, we want to hear from you throughout the course of the morning and into the afternoon. We're with you until 1 o'clock. We're on the Odyssey app. It's a great way to listen. Download it. It's free, AUDACY, where you can listen to us live. And you can also go back and get the podcast or rewind. If you missed something, you want to go back 15 minutes, you can do that, or even longer. And also 98.7 FM, 1120 AM. So are we going to have a Speaker of the House today, Amy? The vote is supposed to happen at 11 o'clock our time. At this point, it seems like Jim Jordan is short of the votes. So we don't know if maybe things will flip here in the next hour. If they do, he will become the new Speaker of the House. If they don't, I wonder how many votes we're going to go through before they abandon this idea and try somebody else. I don't think we go through 15 votes where they continually do this thing over and over again, like they did with Kevin McCarthy. And finally, enough Republicans caved to give him the amount of votes he needed. I get the sense that if this doesn't go his way for a few votes, they'll abandon this and try something else.
Yeah, I don't know. Jim Jordan is a former Trump ally. He is a founding member of the ever troublesome Freedom Caucus, the caucus that's known for really holding up the functioning of Congress. And I don't know, because ultimately, I know Congress needs to function, and to function, they need a speaker. And so there might be more Republicans willing to compromise on Jim Jordan just to have a speaker. Own Missouri Representative Ann Wagner had said last week, when asked if she would support Jim Jordan as speaker, I believe, hell no.
I think it was absolutely not, which is basically hell no.
Absolutely not. Yeah. And now she will be voting for him. I know her office released a statement. She released a statement.
Here's what it says. Let me be clear. I am not and will not work with Democrats as our Republican conference comes together to elect a conservative Speaker of the House. Too much is at stake to hand control of the House over to the radical liberal Democrats, which is why we must elect a conservative as the next Speaker. Throughout my time in Congress, I have always been a team player and supported our Republican nominees out of conference. Jim Jordan and I spoke at length again this morning. This was yesterday. And he has allayed my concerns about keeping the government open with conservative funding, the need for strong border security, our need for consistent international support in times of war and unrest, as well as the need for stronger protections against the scourge of human trafficking and child exploitation. Jim Jordan is our conference nominee, and I will support his nomination. So that's what she said yesterday.
I guess here's the thing. I wouldn't feel, and I would love to talk to her about this, because I understand that it's easy for us to grandstand here or to hold up standards that we say, okay, how could you ever work with this person? But part of Congress is working with people you disagree with. My issue is the absolute statements that came out last week. Like, absolutely not. And then changing your mind a week later, if you know that there might be times when you have to compromise, you should probably set yourself up to say, listen, I may have to do this to keep Congress functioning. Or if you do issue a statement that's an absolute, then stand by that.
Stick with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless there's some new information that presents itself to you. And what possibly could there have been new that Ann Wagner didn't already know about Jim Jordan?
And I don't know. And the thing is,
I don't buy it at all.
I'm sure there are a lot of policies that I obviously agree with Ann Wagner. So I would love to ask her, because like I said, I even for people who were in the Trump administration a long time, I can see how when you're in the thick of it, when you've worked hard to get to a certain position and you're there and you see, wait a minute, this guy is worse than I thought, or not who I thought he was. I can see how it might take time to decide, okay, when do I stay in my position for the good of the country and try to influence the administration for good? When do I put my foot down and leave? I can see how that's a difficult situation. In the same way in Congress, sometimes strange bedfellows have to link arms with the radioactive material in St. Louis. I know
Josh Hawley and Cori Bush
are linking arms, so I understand that. But this feels slightly different to me.
You said what I was feeling. My very first thought, I started to read that statement and I saw it yesterday afternoon, and I got 10 words into it and I said, she lost me. She absolutely lost me right away. And she lost me with, let me be clear, I am not and will not work with Democrats. Okay, that's the attitude that has us where we are right now, politically, in a horrible political environment, the worst of my lifetime. It's an attitude like that. It's saying, I will not work with the other side to get something done, when it is your conference that has screwed this whole thing up to begin with. It is your conference that has put us in this position. The Republicans have done this. And if you can't even be an adult enough to say, you know what, maybe we do need to work with Democrats on this, regardless of what the issue is, you could still find a conservative Speaker of the House by working with Democrats, but maybe somebody more moderate. There is such a thing as a moderate conservative.
And
You could do that, It doesn't have to be a person like Jim Jordan.
I'm a little confused by that statement, honestly, because
Ridiculous.
Isn't that your job to work with Democrats?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And voters are tired of this crap. I know there are some people who are scorched earth, never work for the other side. My side has to win all the time. That's not the majority, though. The majority of people, the vast majority of people, want these idiots to work together. Work together.
Yeah, and they used to. And I know a lot has been said about the Supreme Court, but Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Antonin Scalia couldn't be further apart politically. They were good friends.
Yeah.
They respected each other, right? I know that back in the day, Joe Biden was a good friend and worked well with Mitch McConnell. It happens. You have to have
You
that.
have to.
You have to have that for conversation to move forward. So, yeah, I find that statement odd. It's also strange. So if Jim Jordan is not voted Speaker of the House, if he isn't chosen today, Patrick McHenry will continue as Speaker pro tempore. What's interesting is that he's not allowed to conduct any business in the Speaker pro tempore position.
Yeah.
So what does he do?
Well, carry around that gavel with him. It's about the size of a hockey stick in his hands.
I
but
know. Is it like a placeholder, like a potato? Like, you know what I mean? Like, could you just
I don't
stick
know
a
what you
potato
do.
there? Because it's kind of funny that you have a pro tempore. My guess is you're doing the menial work, right? The small stuff, but you can't conduct any real official business. So I'm not sure. But he's there.
Our latest text message to 314-436-7900. In all caps, it says, just work together. Holy crap. Work with moderate Democrats.
Yeah.
Act like adults. Thank you. Thank you. I guarantee you that's how the great majority of the country, the state of Missouri, Americans feel about our political environment. Just work together.
Yes. And also, I don't like saying all Democrats are all Republicans because, my goodness, look at the Republican Party. Look at me. Look at Marjorie Taylor Greene. We have nothing in common, yet somehow we both fall under that umbrella. And when you look at the Democratic Party, there are some Democrats who are more moderate. There are some Democrats who are more progressive. So to just say that not only are you not going to work with Democrats, but you're just wiping off the board all Democrats as if they're all the same.
She's doing it because
It's
she
not
thinks
good.
it's going to score points for the people who voted for her.
And I know
that's what Ann Wagner did.
I know we have that
and it's
statement.
nonsense, absolute nonsense.
Yeah, and I know we're picking just on Ann Wagner. She's obviously not the
But
only one in
she's
Congress.
ours. She's here.
Yeah, she's here, and
She's
and
one of
that's
our
why.
representatives.
And we see the same thing. We do see a lot of the same blanket statements from some members in the Democratic Party as well. But you have to work together.
Amy Marks Core's Chris Ranji with you here on KMOX.
We go where you go. 1120 AM, 98.7 FM, KMOX.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
The vote is in. STL Today has certified the result. Onderlaw has been voted 2023's best law firm in St. Louis.
When you're injured, call Onder Law at 314 or 618-9000000.
Men, if you're struggling with erectile dysfunction or PE, the medical providers at Paramount Men's Medical Center offer breakthrough treatments that eliminate problems in the bedroom without pain or surgery. Listen to a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Paramount Men's Medical Center offers the most advanced treatments to eliminate ED and PE. 98% of men experience instant results on their first office visit. They're even lasting 90 minutes or longer, regardless of age or medical history.
Don't just take our word for it. Call Paramount Men's Medical Center now for our limited time offer. Your initial consultation and first treatment are completely free. You'll see instant results right in the office. You'll even get a gift that enhances your performance in the bedroom. All this, worth hundreds of dollars, is free if you call now. 314-720-8081. 314-720-8081. That's 314-720-8081.
Before you sell your home, you should know the facts. This is Debbie Monterey. What's your home's true value? Which realtor will get you the most money? And as a seller, is the market still in your favor? I recently spent some time with Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, and here's what she told me. The market is still in the seller's favor. However, these next few months before the holidays represent the last prime time to sell your home. Gloria said everyone knows you can't time the real estate market, but you can sell your home in the months that are statistically the most profitable months to sell real estate. For the past 20 years, Gloria Liu has been successfully selling homes in our area. How has she been so successful? Well, she already has the buyers, which allows her to guarantee to sell your home at your pre-agreed upon price and time frame, or she'll buy it herself. Call Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888, or find her online at gloriahasthebuyers.com.
Have you been wanting to find the secret to losing weight and getting healthy the natural way without drugs or injections? Hey everyone, it's Dr. Michael Glickert with St. Louis Weight Loss Secret, and I know the secret to losing a half a pound to a pound of fat every day, naturally, safely, and effectively, without counting points or calories, no prepackaged meals, no hormones, no drugs, no injections or surgery. Schedule a free consultation now at moweightloss.com.
Hey, this is Debbie Monterey, and I just would like to reiterate what Dr. Glickert said, that you can lose a half a pound to a pound per day with St. Louis Weight Loss Secret. And I can say that with confidence because that's what happened for me. Getting on the scale every morning, losing a half a pound to a pound was extremely motivating to stay on my plan. I lost 20 pounds in the first month. I've lost over 40 pounds altogether using St. Louis Weight Loss Secret. It really is not that hard when you follow their plan. Find out more by going to moweightloss.com. moweightloss.com.
The voice of St. Louis. News that matters to you. KMOX.
Amy, it's come to my attention that some people shouldn't have weapons. They should just not have weapons.
I understand that, but this is someone who should know how to use a weapon and when not to use a weapon. That's what's crazy.
Tell me about this, doofus.
Okay, so you guys may have heard that there was an event at Tillman Elementary School in Kirkwood. It was a trunk or treat event with hundreds of kids and parents. And Matthew McCullough, who is the son of the former St. Louis County prosecutor, Bob McCullough, he
comes from a family of law enforcement.
Yes, and he is a current police officer. He fired several shots into the air on Sunday at this Halloween event at Tillman Elementary School. And again, he shot it straight up. However, he has been charged with 5 counts of armed criminal action, 4 counts of first-degree endangering the welfare of a child, and 1 count each of unlawful use of a weapon and first-degree terrorist threat. Now, that's a big one, and the reason why that is there is he did go up to at least one person and say, "You are going to die," or "Get ready to die," which would be incredibly terrifying. I would be, because if someone is shooting a gun straight up in the air, that's scary in and of itself. But you can't argue that, oh, he was celebrating or trying to get the attention because he went up to people and threatened them. I don't understand how you can be in your right mind and do something like that. And you're the son of the former county prosecutor and also the nephew of St. Charles County prosecutor Joe McCullough. So it's like, and he's a police officer.
Yeah, and to this point, right, he has only been suspended without pay. I imagine it better be the case that what's happening here is they're getting, from a legal perspective,
yes,
all their ducks in a row to fire his ass because he needs to be fired.
Yeah, and like
honestly,
you said,
never again work in law enforcement. That's one of the issues with our, and it's not the fault of individual police departments necessarily around the country, but a lot of times what ends up happening, and the FBI will tell you this, is that there is no database for a bad police officer who does something and gets fired on the job, or, fired and then loses their job as a result of it. They can still go to a smaller department somewhere else. They don't get flagged or anything, and they can just get a job. So I hope people will remember this guy's name. They should know who he is. And whether he tries to get a job in rural Missouri somewhere or in another state hopefully he never gets another job in law enforcement, because this is exactly the kind of person that does not belong in that position.
So, according to KSDK, McCulloch fell while surrounded by hundreds of children, stood up, pulled up his shirt to display a handgun and badge, then began firing his weapon in an upward direction approximately a dozen times while shouting that the attendees would die. That's on the court documents.
Yeah, that's
I don't know.
not great.
I don't know what frame of mind you're in. Are you under the influence of something? Are you just a profound idiot for not just a police officer who should know better? First of all, anybody should know better, but a police officer, the son of Bob McCulloch, the St. Louis County prosecutor,
Somebody who's been trained with a weapon. And I would imagine that growing up in a law enforcement family, he was probably exposed to proper weapon use his entire life, not just when he went into the police academy. I would guess growing up, his dad, his grandfather, who was in law enforcement, killed on the job, actually. I would imagine that these folks all kind of told him the right way. This is how you responsibly handle a firearm. So having all of that training, and again, it's an assumption. I might be wrong. He may have never touched a gun. I would be stunned if that's the case.
Yeah.
He may have never touched a gun until he was an adult and was, going through the police academy. But of all people, this is somebody who should know how to not behave. So maybe on drugs, drunk, whatever, just a hothead in general, whatever it is, this guy belongs nowhere near this position.
Right. And I don't know what it was, but this is a story from a witness who was there with his 8-year-old son, a father who was there with his 8-year-old son. He said, it felt like time stopped. It said probably the whole thing took 45 seconds, but he said it felt like 8-9 minutes. And then, quote, "The scariest thing I can really remember is after those parents tackled him to the ground, he was still smiling." End quote.
Yeah, something's wrong with him.
That seems odd.
But one way or another, there's something wrong with the dude.
Yeah.
Whether it was under the influence or just a chemical imbalance, something is wrong with that guy.
And I know we're going to talk about this later, but the school canceled classes the next day, but had counselors.
What about those kids? And how they're going to have to deal with that?
Well, and I know we're going to talk about this, but they had a counselor. They brought in a therapy dog, and also they brought in the game Tetris. Now, this is for a very specific reason that could help them with PTSD. We'll talk about that later.
It's
really
interesting.
Yeah.
That's Amy Marks Kors. I'm Chris Ranji. The latest from Israel, Gaza, and the conflict with Hamas. Leland Vittert with News Nation will join us next on KMOX.
When those cold spells come out of nowhere, you know it's the change.
To help you navigate the fall weather change, stay with the official weather station. Get up to the minute forecasts mornings and afternoons from 2 meteorologists. And when severe weather hits, the KMOX Storm Center is there for you. Covering the weather change. We're News Radio 1120, KMOX.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs now in effect that will significantly reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. These programs, which the credit card companies like to keep secret, exist to aid American consumers struggling with overwhelming credit card debt by offering tremendous savings and real debt relief. Accredited Debt Relief has established a special hotline for you to call and learn what savings you qualify for. They've helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt and are A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. So don't wait. Get the relief you need during these hard economic times. For this free information, call the Accredited Debt Relief Hotline now. Call 800-873-7171. 800-873-7171. 800-873-7171.
Your garage door is always there for you, rain or shine. Are you taking your garage door for granted? Is it screeching and whining for attention? Trust Overhead Door Company of St. Louis to keep your garage door reliable. Maybe the old weather stripping needs replaced to keep out the cold and hot air. Call Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, trusted here since 1926. For same-day service, call 314-781-5200 and schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
At 10:30, we've got sun and 55 degrees downtown at the Arch. Republicans will try to elect top Donald Trump ally Congressman Jim Jordan as the new House Speaker. The House is scheduled to vote today in what could be a showdown for the Speaker's gavel. Israeli airstrikes in southern Gaza killed dozens of Palestinians who had fled there to escape the fighting. A spokeswoman for the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights is calling for a rigorous independent probe of the bombing.
We urge the Israeli forces to avoid targeting civilians and civilian objects or conducting area bombardments, indiscriminate or disproportionate attacks.
The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration wants to know if GM's self-driving vehicles are doing a good enough job detecting pedestrians. Jeff Gilbert explains.
This comes after 4 reports of automated vehicles from GM's Cruise division striking pedestrians. No word on specifics, but most of the self-driving vehicles are run in San Francisco. The government wants to know if there are any specific issues that put pedestrians at risk from these vehicles.
Cruise says it's cooperating with the investigation and that its automated vehicles have a better safety record than those operated by human drivers. We've got a stalled vehicle on 6440 if you're going east to Timberlake Manor Parkway. The left lane is closed. A 3-car crash on 6440 east at McKnight has been cleared, and there's some road work on Route K going north at 64. The right lane is closed. And the forecast for today, a high approaching 70. For tonight, clear, low 49. For tomorrow, sunny, breezy, pleasant with a high of 76. At the moment, we've got sun and 55 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Consumer Cellular. Freedom calls. Consumer Cellular offers the exact same nationwide 5G coverage as the major carriers, even in bumper-to-bumper traffic. Their 100% US-based support is just a click or a call away. Visit your local retail store in St. Louis to switch today.
Explore Vladimir Putin's formative years in the new Odyssey original podcast, About a Boy, the story of Vladimir Putin. Join host Julia Yaffe, Puck founding partner and Washington correspondent, as she explores why Putin's childhood is critical to understanding the Russian president and the brutal social code by which he lives, and how that biography can help inform what he might do next in the war against Ukraine. Listen and follow About a Boy, the story of Vladimir Putin, an Odyssey original podcast. Available now on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing. Together millions of things for our planet. After Halloween, your used jack-o'-lantern and other gourds are great additions to any compost pile. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
Broadcasting from the Underlaw 3 Lawyers. GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
This is Christina Straight with Straight Realty reminding you why pay more than 4. In 2003, we had a dream to start a real estate company that would revolutionize the real estate market. Now, 20 years later, after navigating through the many markets' ups and downs, we know exactly how to help you in this challenging time. I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. Don't give away your hard-earned equity. Give us a call today, 314-441-4444, 314-441-all-4s. And remember, why pay more than 4?
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
Just like every successful football team needs that strong quarterback, the same goes for your financial planning when it comes to your retirement. Steve All and his team can be your quarterback into the end zone of reaching that goal of a successful retirement. For more information, visit yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Steve All, NPN number 153-07419.
Hi, this is Steven from Creve Coeur Camera and the new owner of the Photo Pros. Recently, I lost both my parents to Alzheimer's, but I'm really lucky. My parents took hundreds of movies, pictures, slides, and kept their parents' photos too. So we, the Photo Pros, are digitally preserving all of these. Bring us your family history to be saved for the next generation and gift your family their history this holiday. Everything stays in St. Louis. Call 314-567-3456 or Google the Photo Pros or even Creve Coeur Camera.
Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes talks football, family, and more. Monday nights during Sports Open Line. Only on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
Chris and Amy on KMOX. Amy Marks Coors, Chris Ranji. We have been covering what's been happening in Israel and Gaza as it looks like the IDF is preparing to move in on a ground expedition. And at some point here, we don't really know when that's going to happen, but a bit of a humanitarian crisis is unfolding at the same time. To talk about all of that with us from News Nation, Leland Vittert is a correspondent for them, joining us on the Quiver River Electric guest line. Leland, we appreciate your time today.
It's a pleasure. Nice to be with you guys. I would say that the humanitarian crisis in Gaza has been going on since Hamas took over about 20 years ago. But you're right to say that it is getting worse.
Yeah, what is the situation now with that? I know there's been difficulty. People are trying to move south. They're having difficulty doing it. There's nowhere for them to go. So what's happening at this very moment?
Well, you have to sort of take a view of who's really at fault here for what's happening in Gaza. And much of the world would like you to believe it's the Israelis. I would suggest it's Hamas, in that when you're the governing body of a piece of ground, which Hamas is, and you're preventing civilians from evacuating from a war that you started, that's on you. That's on Hamas. That's not on Israel. And what I find curious, just from the broader view here, President Biden's going over to meet with Israel, but then he's going to go meet with the King of Jordan, the President of Egypt, in Jordan after his visit to Israel. And the Jordanians and the Egyptians have both said they won't take anybody out of Gaza. Right. So the Arab world, from Morocco to call it, the Gulf, and then the Muslim world continuing through Iran to Indonesia, none of those countries are willing to help resettle the Palestinians, and they blame Israel for all that, which is a fairly interesting way to look at the world.
Yeah, why is that, Leland? Because we know that, yes, Gaza borders Israel, but it also borders Egypt. And Egypt has refused to open those humanitarian corridors for Palestinians to leave Gaza. They are being abandoned by people around them, by countries around them where they could potentially go. Not only does that put the Palestinians in a bad position, it puts Israel in an impossible position to defend itself.
Well, Israel has to make a choice, right? Unfortunately, in war, civilians get injured. I've spent 4 years there and a lot of time with the IDF, and would say that they are better than most militaries and take more precautions than any military that I've known to protect civilians. That said, and what I think is interesting is there seems to be this sort of unbelievable fascination now with the Palestinian plight and Palestinian humanitarian issues. I would think about when the United States, the international coalition, went after ISIS. We bombed Mosul and parts of Syria and parts of Western Iraq back to the Stone Age. It didn't exist anymore. Thousands of civilians died and nobody cared because the United States was fighting a terrorist organization that had just executed a couple of Americans. Well, Hamas invaded another country, killed 30 Americans, and has taken other hostages. And there's this equivalency of, what about the water supply in Gaza? The fascination always with blaming Israel is pretty telling, I think, in terms of how the world looks at this situation.
Yeah, but I would push back a little bit against that. I don't think all people were completely ignoring what we were doing in trying to defeat ISIS. I think there are a lot of people who were concerned about that very thing, that civilians were going to get caught up in something that was not theirs, that they had nothing to do with. So I don't know if one thing excuses the other. I understand where you're coming from on it. I don't know that people were completely ignoring that.
No, look, nobody ever completely ignores anything, but the Allies firebombed Dresden, and there was no demand by the world, quote unquote, or the media at the time, for the Allies to give the Nazis fuel and food and medicine as World War II went on. So, look, any civilian death is tragic. There's no question about that. I think there's an enormous distinction between a group that targets civilians and a group that goes out of its way, or an army that goes out of its way to not target civilians. And then that same group that targeted civilians uses its own civilians as human shields. The reasonable people can agree the best thing that could happen for the Palestinians, or for peace-loving Palestinians, quote unquote, is for Israel to wipe Hamas off the face of the earth. That's very hard to do. It's a little bit like eradicating cockroaches, but from just a military perspective. But I think your point's very well made, is that in times of war, there becomes a question of good and evil. There becomes a question of sides. And for all the discussion I hear about what Israel shouldn't do, there's very few who can describe, well, okay, how should they defend themselves? How should they protect themselves against this organization that is well funded by Iran and well armed by Iran and well trained by Iran that wants to eradicate Israel? So, and yeah, the civilian deaths are tragic. They always are. But in cases like this, I think that we perhaps miss the forest for the trees. And the forest is, there's a battle between good and evil going on. And unfortunately, and America is doing this right now, you got to pick sides.
Yeah. I think we talked about this. I brought this up yesterday. There is this weird obsession with Israel, with the Jewish people. They become a scapegoat for hate. There was one Israeli soldier who said, the left thinks we're right wing, the right thinks we're left wing, communists thinks we're capitalists, capitalists think we're communists. No matter what Israel or the Jewish people do, there's this weird standard that the world holds them to. There is a double standard, you could say, and then also just a microscope, because no country would put up with what Israel does. A rabbi brought this up, that Israel faced thousands of rockets from Gaza since Hamas took over, and said, well, we can't go after Hamas because Hamas is hiding under elementary schools and under hospitals. So we're going to treat the rockets like hail. We'll build the Iron Dome. And for those rockets that get through the Iron Dome, we'll have bomb shelters to keep our people safe. No other country would put up with that. If Canada were bombing the U.S., we would not. I
think I agree with you. I'd make it a little bit more direct, which is not Canada bombing the United States. The United States is big, and if you're in Houston, Canada seems sort of far away. If you're in St. Louis, Canada seemes far away. This is like East St. Louis, right? This is like Sauget, Illinois, declaring war on St. Louis, or East
Grafton.
St. Louis, right?
Grafton, Alton.
So you pick your, there's a river. There's also a border in Gaza, and the rockets are flying over. So it's a little bit more. For all the talk of marginalized people and the need to protect marginalized societies, and whatever the current buzzword is, there's been no group over history, all going back 3,000 years, that has been persecuted in the way that the Jews have. That is a historical fact, and it is indisputable. You're right to bring up the question of why. I think what's interesting now as we look forward, and sort of what we're looking at and what we'll cover tonight at 6 p.m. Central, is really what's behind and what's driving President Biden's trip to Israel, and the fact that the ground invasion was likely going to begin Friday night, Saturday morning, Saturday night at the latest. And it's now Tuesday. President Biden announced his trip on Monday. How much of this is devised to put pressure on the Israelis not to launch the ground invasion? There's a lot of history of this, with Prime Minister Netanyahu really embarrassing then Vice President Biden when he was in Jerusalem and announcing additional building of settlements in the West Bank. And there's a lot of animosity between President Biden and Benjamin Netanyahu. And I can't help but think that there's some other plot lines going on here. The one thing you learned in the Middle East was to not believe in coincidences.
So with the visit there, what do you think the ultimate outcome of it will be? Do you think it's simply just to push back the ground invasion, or to try to talk them out of it? Is that all this is about, or do you think there's more?
I don't know. That's a great question. I think we really have to watch this play out, which is going to be fascinating to watch over the next 48 hours. The issue for the Biden administration right now is that in 20 months or less, you went from withdrawing from Afghanistan and trying to get out of the Middle East, right, to now giving weapons to Israel and putting 2 aircraft carrier battle groups in the Mediterranean to combat Hamas, which is armed with some of the very weapons we left behind in Afghanistan. And that's a pretty rough punch in the face for the Biden administration, I think. You had Jake Sullivan, the national security advisor, less than 2 weeks ago saying the Middle East was the quietest it had ever been in years, or in decades, I think he said. And now all of a sudden we have this. And you can see the Biden administration trying to pivot very quickly, but at the same time, not really wanting to give up the ghost of the rapprochement policy they had with Iran. And that's going to play a big part. And you can tell that I think even the Biden administration doesn't quite know what to do or quite know what its policy is at this point.
Leland, this is the impossible question. People talk about the two.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
I know. So I'm going to throw it your way and see if you can take a crack at it. But people have, we talk about the 2-state solution. We use that language, but Hamas in its very charter calls for killing all of the Jewish people. And when it says the liberation of Palestine, it's talking about all of Israel. And so there's no way to have a 2-state solution with Hamas at the helm. So if Hamas is gone, who takes the helm of Gaza then? And what are the odds that they would want to? Well,
it is an impossible question. It is an impossible question. I think you're now getting to the very heart of the matter, right? Which is the 2-state solution is dead, and it's dead for the next 50 years. No Israeli prime minister is going to be able to give the Palestinians autonomy and therefore access to weapons and everything else after what happened last week. Because the Israelis have been punched in the face too many times after having given up, security guarantees in return for peace, right, and land in return for peace because the peace hasn't come. I think what is going to be interesting to see is the pressure the Biden administration puts, say, on Egypt, and on Jordan, and on perhaps the rest of the Arab and Muslim world. That Hamas's leadership is hanging out right now in luxury villas provided by the Qataris, a U.S. ally, allegedly, and Iran is funding and training them. So the question will be, can the Biden administration put real pressure to change that? And look, it's very difficult for the Israelis. They're living next to 2 million people, 1 million of which support the regime. Roughly, half of Gaza supports Hamas, that wants to wipe them off the face of the earth. Again, if Alton, Illinois, if everybody in Alton had signed up, or half of Alton had signed up to wipe St. Louis off the face of the map, things would look a lot different in St. Louis, and it'd be a very different worldview. And that is the worldview Israel's heading to war. And you and I, we haven't even gotten to what happens if Iran unleashes its forces to the north.
Yeah, I wouldn't assign the worldview of half of all Palestinians that feel that way, because most of the people who voted for Hamas, you got a lot of kids there. It's half the country's kids.
Well, I'm well aware. I mean, I spent a lot of time in Gaza,
sure,
and I would tell you, I think at least half support Hamas, if not more. And the polling that's been done there shows that Hamas was elected with their charter to eliminate Israel. And look, all you had to do was watch the video of the cheering in the streets as the fighters came back with Israeli hostages to see what the support was. So I would actually venture to say it's probably closer to 70%. And war's a messy thing. After this war, it's probably going to be 80 or 90, because if the Israelis have killed your parents and your older brother, then you're probably pretty mad at him too.
Yeah, probably.
Probably. Right, exactly.
Leland Vittert, a correspondent at News Nation. Appreciate your time today. Thank you for visiting with us.
Take care. All the best.
Awesome. Leland Vittert with us again with News Nation. An extremely complicated situation happening in the Middle East. Did you see this? Coming up next with Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop.
Binges, blackouts, regret, shame, trying and failing, to drink less or quit. Hi, I'm Jonathan, founder of Or Health. I know how scary drinking too much can be because I struggled with alcohol misuse for most of my adult life. But I also know that it is possible to drink less or quit. and medication can help. Naltrexone is a safe, effective medication that makes it easier to cut back or quit drinking, so you don't have to rely on willpower alone. I started Or Health to make access to naltrexone convenient and private, to help people like me regain control over alcohol.
If you're ready to stop drinking or just drink less, text BACK to 323232 to get a secure link to Or Health's private online assessment. Our licensed medical professionals will evaluate your assessment, and if medication is right for you, prescribe it online. We'll deliver your prescription right to your door. No doctor's office visits required. Text the word BACK to 323232 to get started today. That's BACK to 323232.
The Pitch, Athletic Club and Tavern at St. Louis Union Station may be the perfect place before, during, or after a city match. But did you know they are a great place to hang for any soccer match being played? Now open at 6:30 a.m. on Saturdays and Sundays, The Pitch offers private TVs to tune into your favorite leagues and a breakfast menu that will make you feel like you've won the World Cup. Visit www.thepitch-stl.com to learn more and to get ready for kickoff at The Pitch.
Earthquakes don't just happen in California. They can happen right here, anytime with no warning. The chance of a major Missouri earthquake in the next 50 years is as high as 40% and can cause billions of dollars in damage. Are you prepared? Most homeowners and renters policies don't cover earthquakes. Are you covered? Earthquake insurance can help protect you and your family, and it's more affordable than you think. Call your insurance agent or visit centralusquake.org. That's centralusquake.org. Remember, it's not if, it's when.
Okay, so you filed your taxes this year, but you know you have past IRS issues. And now the IRS letters are coming. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. Don't ignore those IRS letters. They're important and give you rights and deadlines to defend yourself. Waiting could cause you to lose those rights. Call the Lance Drury Law Firm now and let us help you get ahead of the IRS and defend your rights while you still have time. The Lance Drury Law Firm is located here in St. Louis, so take the first step and hire a tax resolution attorney. We've made it super easy to schedule your free consultation in person, or you can do a phone call and save travel time. Remember, IRS problems are legal problems. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure salesperson, give us a call at the Lance Drury Law Firm. Call today at 314-238-7360. That's 314-238-7360. Or go visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hey, it's Bo Matthews for Reinhold Electric, and big news for this group. They have been working hard for decades for St. Louis. They have been named Electrician of the Year 2 years running now by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. So if you want a top-notch electrician, big or small, no matter what the size is, residential, commercial, industrial settings, Reinhold Electric has the experts that can tackle any of those jobs. 314-631-1158. Tell them Bo sent you to Reinhold Electric, online at reinholdelectric.com.
I see clearly now, thanks to the doctors, Birdie, Malhotra, Brusati, Royer, and Barry. You can too. Go to youridoc.com.
Amy Markscourt.
Fabulous.
Chris Ranji.
Unbelievable. On KMOX.
Did you see that thing? I can't believe it. Something is obviously wrong.
This is a joke, right?
Oh my God. Are you freaking kidding me? No way.
You gotta be kidding me.
Don't feel bad. There's no way you could have known that.
Now, did you see this with Chris and Amy on the show?
Amy, did you see the story about this banker in the UK who worked for Citibank, and he was fired because he lied on an expense report?
Okay.
So here's what he did. He went out of town, and he went to a deli or a coffee shop or something, and he ordered 2 sandwiches and 2 coffees.
Mm-hmm.
And he said they were both for him.
Well, you could be hungry.
Fine. Then that's exactly what he said. He said he skipped breakfast. He said he got a sandwich for lunch and a coffee and then had a sandwich later. Took it home and to the hotel and had it for dinner. He was fired over a sandwich and coffee. And he tried to sue the company, tried to sue Citibank. Well, he's just lost.
So wait.
He's just lost his
A
lawsuit.
sandwich and coffee, because they're saying he should have said he bought it for someone else and he wasn't allowed to?
But he was still within his per diem. He had a per diem of 100 pounds per day, and he was still within that. But they decided, nope, we think that you bought lunch for somebody else, and that's... He did take his partner with him, he says, on the trip. But he was fired... Had he bought lunch for a business associate, a little bit different. but they say he bought lunch for his partner and therefore lied about it on the expense report, and Citibank fired him. He tried to sue them. The lawsuit has been dropped.
Really?
Yeah. What do you think of that?
When you think of all that goes down, I feel like this is a small thing.
Like,
and
why fire this guy? Maybe they were looking for something?
Unless he's done it 1,000 times. Because I feel like if we did that, I mean, I don't get a per diem. I don't get anything. I barely get paid.
No per diem?
Yeah, we barely get paid. But let's say that happened. I feel like our boss would say, hey, Amy, you can't do that. I know it's a sandwich, but you can't buy it for mason jar or whatever, right? So don't do it again. Okay, boss. And then we go on. But to get fired, I feel like there has to be more to the story that we don't know.
It's absolutely wild. I bet they were trying to look for a reason and they found one and this was it. But over a sandwich and coffee?
Right.
Come on.
Okay, Ranj, on Fridays we have our no prize pick'em.
Yeah.
We have our no prize pick'em where you win
nothing.
That's right. Because sweepstakes laws, baby, they're scary. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups may be in violation of state and federal sweepstakes laws. Now, you may say, come on, guys, why don't you have a prize for your no prize pick'em? Well, that's because 3 federal agencies, the Federal Trade Commission, the FCC, and the U.S. Postal Service enforce sweepstake laws, and man, they would be on us. They would say, you can't give away a jelly bean. You can't do it. Anyway, Reese's says on the package, you could win $25,000. And then in smaller print, it says, see details inside. But only after consumers have bought the candy to open the package to see the details inside does it say no purchase necessary to enter the sweepstakes.
Well, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
So are they in trouble?
They might be in trouble. Yeah.
Oh, so man. Reese's owes me money.
Yeah, they said late Monday that, hey, the website has all the details for the promotion, so you can go online. You don't have to purchase it to see the small details.
You know what that is? That is intentionally misleading. That's what that is.
So the thing is, I feel like I've seen this before, where it says, there's a prize in the bottom of this box.
There's a documentary
on
Netflix. I can't remember what it's called. Oh, it's Where's My Jet? Or Dude, Where's My Jet? Or something.
Yeah. The Pepsi guy.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was Pepsi. When we come back, Justin Collette with Beetlejuice, the musical. He is going to join us. He plays Beetlejuice. That is next on KMOX.
For a limited time, First Community is offering a rate of 5% annual percentage yield on a 12-month or an 18-month certificate of deposit. Take your pick. You can open a CD with as little as $500, and there is no limit. Unlike some high-risk investments, CDs are fully insured to keep your savings safe, and the return on your investment is guaranteed. Requires a $500 minimum deposit to open. Call 1-800-767-8880 for terms and conditions. Federally insured up to $250,000 by NCUA.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
Hi, Ken Newbold for Newbold Toyota. 2023 is our 50th year of being a Toyota dealer, so come see us. We're on Highway 64 in O'Fallon, Illinois, or check us online at newboldtoyota.com. You'll be sold on Newbold.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
Your home of the Chiefs, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Hey, folks, this is Charlie Brennan. I recently received the nicest email from a local business executive. It read, "Hey, Charlie, we had Morelli out today to do tuck pointing on our chimneys, and they did a great job. Pricing was fair, they had enough workers to get it done in a day, and the cleanup was exceptional. Thanks for the recommendation. If you've noticed loose bricks or missing mortar on the walls, patio, walkway, porch, or chimney of your home or business, contact the masonry specialists of St. Louis since 1991, Morelli Tuck Pointing. You know, this is the company that's won the Angie's List Super Service Award every year, back to back to back, since 2005. 314-645-1387 or MorelliTuckPointing.com, and consult the reviews on the Google, Angie's List, and Better Business Bureau websites. MorelliTuckPointing.com.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there, and around there, and even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 11 o'clock, it's sunny and 57 degrees downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun. Our top story this hour. Israel has sealed off and bombed Hamas-ruled Gaza since the militant attack on southern Israel October 7th. They killed over 1,400 people, mostly civilians, and left about 200 captive in Gaza. CBS News correspondent Ian Lee is in Tel Aviv and says this is going to be a difficult war with Hamas.
Hamas has been preparing for this for years. They have an underground tunnel network that is reportedly hundreds of miles long. I've been in that tunnel network, and I can tell you it is well fortified. Again, this is going to be a long and bloody conflict.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken has been working on ways to get humanitarian aid to civilians in Gaza. 1 month ago, United Auto Workers walked off the job for better pay. UAW members at the GM plant in Wentzville were part of the first wave. WWJ auto reporter Jeff Gilbert says talks are not moving the needle between the union and car manufacturers.
Bill Ford, who is the chairman of the company that bears his family name, kind of reached an olive branch out to the UAW saying, look, let's end the acrimony and work together. UAW is saying, yes, we can work together if you agree to what we've asked for.
The UAW wants a 40% wage increase over 4 years, cost of living adjustments, reinstatement of pensions, improved retiree benefits, shorter work hours, and the elimination of the tiered wage system. Marijuana is big business now in Missouri, and the industry needs workers. St. Louis University offers a certificate in cannabis science and operations, the first school in the region to offer it. What are the classes like? Stacey Godlewski is the program director.
There's 6 of them. We start off with the fundamentals of cannabis. We move into cultivation of cannabis, the extraction and product production, cannabis compliance and dispensing, pharmacological properties of cannabis, and then cannabis law and entrepreneurship.
She says students are getting hired by the industry while they're still in the program and finding better benefits and pay because of the certification. The Indian Supreme Court has ruled against legalizing same-sex marriage, but called upon the country's lawmakers to do more to protect the rights of LGBTQ plus people. The BBC's Samira Hussain has more on the decision.
Part of the government's argument, of course, was that this goes against Indian values, same-sex marriage, that in fact, this is really more of an urban, elitist, Western idea. And that is something actually the Supreme Court countered, saying that there is a very long history of same-sex couples and same-sex unions in this country.
The KMOX Business Desk, Americans showed their steadfast resilience and kept spending in September, even as they grappled with higher prices, interest rates, and a host of other headwinds. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
Spending decreased in a couple of categories: electronics and appliance stores and clothing retailers. Overall, this report shows that through the end of the third quarter, consumers kept up their spending at a pretty good clip. The continued resilience of consumers in the face of still high prices in many sectors of the economy really does put the Fed in a tough position.
The Dow from Stifels up 128 points to 34,113.
KMOX AccuWeather, a nice afternoon. Plenty of sunshine. Will approach 70, mainly clear down the upper 40s tonight. Breezy, even more pleasant tomorrow up to 76 with sunshine for the most part. Breezy cooler on Thursday with a shower in spots in the high 67, and then nice into the weekend, Friday and Saturday near 70 with some sun. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Dean DeVore, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
We've got sunshine, 57 in Florissant. It's 57 in St. Peters and 57 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Nobody is bulletproof. I work out, I eat clean. Jesus, pass the Dramamine. Time to face the brutal truth. 'Cause we're all on a hit list. Might not live till Christmas. Choke to death on Triscuits. Hey, that's just statistics. So take a little break here. It's kind of like a wake here. The scenery is fake here, but there's a giant snake here.
Beetlejuice is happening at the Fabulous Fox, baby. Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji with you on KMOX. We go to the Quiver River Electric Guest Line. This morning, we talked to Justin Collette playing Beetlejuice in Beetlejuice the Musical. As I mentioned, it is happening at the Fabulous Fox right now. Justin, we appreciate your time today. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, we're doing okay. I feel
Good.
like playing that character has to take a lot out of you.
You know, it really does. But if you have like a rough day, anything you want to yell at anybody about, you just like bottle it up. You get a lot off your chest every single night. It's fantastic.
Well, in all seriousness, though, it is such a high energy, intense character compared to the other characters you've played. Do you find yourself more exhausted after this show than the other ones?
Yeah. I mean, this one is, I get some pretty good breaks in this one. The last role I played on Broadway was Dewey Finn in School of Rock, and that was another just like yelly, run around, big singy one. But yeah, no, I kind of like the challenge of it now. It's I'm used to the pressure. The role feels like a weighted blanket. Like I think I would get bored now doing anything else.
And there's a very specific kind of voice you have to have, and you have to be able to do, and then you have to sing with it. So is there an added difficulty there?
Yeah, for sure. You can't really go to any kind of like classic or traditional voice methods to figure out how to do this. So when I started touring, it was a lot of trial and error to figure out like how I was going to do the voice, when I was going to cut it out and have more of a clear singing tone. It was a lot of like math and me figuring it out on my own, how to make it work. But yeah, and I kind of got a hold of it now, which is good. Leveled out.
Does it hurt?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
See?
What do you mean? No. If it hurt, I no. If it hurts, you know, that's Beetlejuice's rule. If it hurts, stop.
Well, when you are playing such an iconic role, do you watch any of the movie to see how it was done originally, or do you try to have just a completely unique take on it?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely watched the movie. I love that movie so much, and also for that matter, the cartoon when I was a kid, I really enjoyed as well. I think I like to watch it to see like the energy that the actor chose to bring to the character, as opposed to like mimicking exactly how they say each word. It's like, how are they doing this? Like when he asks someone to dinner, like how does he do that? And I try to take like I steal like their outlook, I guess, and like how that character sees the world, and then I kind of filter that through whatever I make it sound like.
Well, how is the musical production of this different than the film?
Okay, so yeah, our musical I think does a really cool thing that a lot of movie musicals don't often do, which is we don't like just retell the story of the movie verbatim. The whole story of the movie is actually in our show, but we expand on it. So the movie focuses a lot more on the Maitlands, so the Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis characters. Beetlejuice and Lydia are only in the movie for I think 12 minutes each, and our musical focuses a lot more on their story. So it follows Lydia, who's grieving the death of her mom, and it's following Beetlejuice, who's very sick of being alone and dead and wants friends.
Okay, I've been thinking about this, and I am asking this dead serious, but they say
Go.
Oh no.
Okay, and you can say no comment, but they say there's no such thing as bad publicity. And rather famously, there was a U.S. representative named Lauren Boebert who was at Beetlejuice the Musical in Denver. Was that you? Was that your show? Not was that you, but was that your show? was that your show? And then also, did you see an uptick in ticket sales after that?
I will say that all I will say is that Beetlejuice was very sad he was not involved in the Congresswoman's actions that day.
Oh my gosh!
Wait, so you weren't there?
Beetlejuice was there. He was very sad he wasn't invited. He was very insulted.
Well, I didn't say this,
Man.
Justin. I saw this on I saw this on MSNBC, and the commentator said, "Now listen, normally Lauren Boebert's not known for reaching across the aisle, but
Oh, come on. Come on. Justin.
After seeing the videos and hearing all the stories, Beetlejuice was very sad he wasn't involved.
you're a good man,
Yeah,
Justin."
Justin, that's what he's. I get it. You have to be very careful with how you. Justin Collette plays
Telling you
Beetlejuice.
exactly what Beetlejuice was. He was very sad he wasn't involved.
Beetlejuice the musical. Justin Collette with us. Do you know if any of the, if Michael Keaton or Winona Ryder or Gina, you mentioned the Alec Baldwin. Do you know if any of them have seen this production?
I have no idea what goes on in my audience.
Okay.
Beetlejuice is very sad he was not involved.
Man, this guy. This is tougher than like interviewing a senator right now.
It really is, man.
Yeah.
But we like it.
I'm not here to talk about the past.
Yeah, dude.
He got his notes from Mark McGuire.
Yeah, he really did. I'm not here to talk about the past.
Not here to talk about the past.
Deep cut.
I mean,
Oh.
I'm sweating. We've had some serious conversations on this show, Justin, but I feel
This
like
is tough.
you've got me like,
It's like getting Josh Hawley on the show.
back on my heels.
Beetlejuice will leave Josh Hawley alone. He's very glad he has not been invited.
Okay, well, let me ask, since we're going to pivot here, for this show, is there an age recommendation, like age minimum recommendation, family friendly, more maybe 13 and over
It
type
depends
show?
on what you do at home. Honestly, you know what I mean.
Well, I get it.
What's your home like?
Yeah.
I think the thing that we have written down is expect to hear anything that you would expect, like a crazy undead demon to say, like anything to come out of his mouth.
That's
So,
fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So this show's directed by Alex Timbers, who did
Yeah.
Moulin Rouge. Yeah, he's good. From what I understand,
He's
my mom
favorite.
says he's great. She that's not an insult. I'm totally
Hey,
serious.
Justin,
My mother
Pam is amazing.
absolutely
Yeah.
loves musicals.
If you met Pam, you would know that that's a great
she's-
compliment.
It is. It's a huge.
Send her
compliment.
over. Beetle, I would love to meet Pam.
Maybe I will.
Yeah, no, Alex is one of my favorites. I can't believe that I got to work with him on this. He also, directed everything from like David Byrne's American Utopia, which is one of the coolest shows I've seen on Broadway, one of the best concerts I've seen. He directed John Mulaney's stand-up specials, I think like the last 3. He gets, and Moulin Rouge, and also he's doing Gutenberg right now on Broadway with Josh Gad and Andrew Reynolds. Like, the guy really, he's such a brilliant director and really understands every actor's capacity and how to push them. And he also has such a great visual eye for like the production values that are in our show. It's really like when you walk into our theater, there's like this horrifying carnival music playing and this great big Beetlejuice sign. When you go, he's so great at setting a vibe. And creating an atmosphere, and I'm just so grateful I got to work with him.
Speaking of working with people, I would imagine that over the course of an entire tour, night in, night out, you're performing, you're traveling, it's got to feel like a family pretty quickly, and you grow close to all of your fellow actors.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, we go through it together. It's really fun, and sometimes you're in big cities where you go out and do your own thing, and other times we're in small towns. I mean, I don't think we've gone to a town in the South yet without trying to find line dancing somewhere. We usually hunt down some sort of roadhouse honky tonk bar. It's really fun. No, the cast is really, we're really, really lucky. It's not always this good, but this whole group is just, I think we're all really excited to be a part of a tour that has essentially been sold out in almost every one of our cities, and the fans are so excited to see the show. It's really hard not to get wrapped up in how much people are enjoying what we're doing.
This show, Beetlejuice the Musical, is at the Fabulous Fox through October 22nd. There are shows all the way through then. There are matinee shows over the weekend. How much longer is the production going on after you leave St. Louis?
As far as I know right now, we're booked through next June.
Through next June. Okay, that's
through next June. Yeah, so June 2024. It's 2023 right now. Yeah, June 2024. Yeah.
So St. Louis is your favorite spot so far?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know it is, you guys.
Yes. Justin, we love
You
you.
know it is.
Oh, yeah.
Never been anywhere better.
Well,
Justin,
we're
you're
not
the best.
No, I
surprised.
honestly love it. I'm basically made of ribs now. I love your city.
Oh, yes.
And we have a lot of great barbecue.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
You do have great barbecue. My goodness.
Have you been to Louis yet on Damon? Louis on Damon?
No,
You need to go there. That's Drake's favorite.
I'm on my way.
Yeah, Drake loves that place.
He like rented it out 3 nights in a row while he was here, so you should check it out.
Oh, well, if it's good enough for Drake.
Right?
One time I went to a recording studio and he left a bunch of half-eaten sandwiches in the fridge, and I had that, so I know he's got good taste.
Wait, really?
Serious?
Yeah, for real.
What kind of sandwiches were they?
I recorded a cartoon in a recording studio the day after he had like decked it out and filled it out, and there was just like cigarettes everywhere and sandwiches.
He didn't leave like bite marks in the sandwiches, did he? Or they were like
For
hash?
sure, yeah.
Yeah.
No, he wrote Drake on the ones that were his. So I had a few that just said draw.
Awesome.
All right, fabulousfox.com. If you're interested in tickets, go see the show. Prices start at $35. It's great. So through October 22nd at the Fabulous Fox, fabulousfox.com. Justin, Collette, you're awesome. We really had a good time with you. Thank you for coming on today.
Yeah, you guys too. Thanks so much.
Tell everybody how great we are.
Yep.
I will. You too.
We did.
We just
and we're going to
did.
keep doing it.
Absolutely.
Justin Collette from Beetlejuice the Musical. That guy's great.
I kind of felt like he was channeling a little bit of that energy there.
Well, yeah, you
A
have
lot
to.
of it.
You have
No,
to.
I mean it was chaos.
Yeah,
It
he's
was-
awesome, man. I do want to go see it. I probably go see it this weekend.
Oh my gosh.
Oh wait, I can't Friday. I'm gonna find time to go see it.
You have until October 22nd.
That's right.
Tickets at MetroTix, the Fabulous Fox. And
Fabulousfox.com also.
are you good with slogans? I'm great with slogans.
Yeah.
Because here's what we need. Missouri has a new slogan, and we're going to talk about it, and then we are going to get feedback from the
listener?
people.
The
Yeah,
people.
The people.
Sounds
Because
good.
this can't be the best slogan.
Let's find out. It's next on KMOX.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to KMOX for all the news, sports, talk, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
Cause you're my special thing.
Ruben Studdard and Clay Aiken.
20.
The tour. Reunited 2 decades after their storied run on American Idol. Ruben and Clay. Friday, October 27th at the Family Arena. Tickets on sale now at the Carroll House Furniture box office, located at the Family Arena or at Ticketmaster. Ruben Studdard and Clay Aiken.
John Michael Montgomery.
Live.
The multiple Grammy, CMA, and ACM award winner. John Michael Montgomery with McBride and the Ride. Friday, October 20th at the Family Arena. Reserved seats are on sale now at the Carroll House box office, located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster. John Michael Montgomery, live in concert.
Hi, this is Ken.
And Laurie Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals.
Join us Sundays at 9:30 a.m. for Your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Have you been wanting to find the secret to losing weight and getting healthy the natural way without drugs or injections? Hey everyone, it's Dr. Michael Glickert with St. Louis Weight Loss Secret, and I know the secret to losing a half a pound to a pound of fat every day naturally, safely, and effectively without counting points or calories. No prepackaged meals, no hormones, no drugs, no injections or surgery. Schedule a free consultation now at moweightloss.com.
Hey, this is Debbie Monterey, and I just would like to reiterate what Dr. Glickert said, that you can lose a half a pound to a pound per day with St. Louis Weight Loss Secret. And I can say that with confidence because that's what happened for me. Getting on the scale every morning, losing a half a pound to a pound was extremely motivating to stay on my plan. I lost 20 pounds in the first month. I've lost over 40 pounds altogether together using St. Louis Weight Loss Secret. It really is not that hard when you follow their plan. Find out more by going to moweightloss.com. moweightloss.com.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-777-1979. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-777-1979. That's 800-777-1979. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-777-1979. 800-777-1979.
Live and local. This is St. Louis's News Radio, KMOX.
All right, Amy Marks Kors, you got a slogan for me? Something about the state of Missouri?
I do.
Okay, tell me about it.
So they're trying to get businesses to St. Louis, right?
Yeah.
So Missouri Partnership is launching a new campaign to try to recruit new businesses to the state of Missouri. And their campaign slogan is, ready?
Yeah.
Missouri loves company.
I gotta be honest with you. Wait, are you saying you hate it? Because I think that is brilliant. I love it,
dude.
I think it's
you
so
talk about
good.
low self-esteem.
No, it's funny.
Missouri loves company.
I love it.
It's a campaign to highlight why businesses love Missouri, and it touts the benefits of expanding into the Show Me State. Now, obviously, a play on the phrase misery loves company.
Yeah.
Should you associate your state with profound despair and unhappiness and suffering for a business campaign?
Don't you think people around the country already think that about us?
Well, I think they do.
So what is that?
But it's like
that's
saying,
not going to occur to them now that this slogan is there.
You know we suck. We suck. Come join us. That's what this is saying.
I don't think so at all. You know what I think is happening here?
What?
I think this is a, hey, we know, we get it, but we're trying to get better. We're trying to improve as a state. We're trying to be something. And hey, we're having a little fun with it here. We have a sense of humor. Missouri has a sense of humor. When you think we don't, because the rest of the country looks at this state and says, they can't laugh at themselves. You know what? We can. Look, we're doing it right now. I think it's great. Missouri loves company.
314-944-1120. You can leave a voicemail with a slogan that's better than that for the state of Missouri.
I don't think there is one. I think that's as good as it gets.
Okay. This is one that I would say as a joke, as a slight to Missouri or St. Louis.
So you think it makes us look like a
Pathetic.
joke?
Yes.
Pathetic. You do.
Yeah. I think it makes us look like a joke because I would always, okay, this is, I don't think I can say it.
No, you have to now.
I can't.
The things that you think you can't say,
okay,
you absolutely can.
You know how the homicide rates are famously awful in St. Louis?
Yeah.
We're a dangerous
My entire
city,
lifetime. Yep.
Murder, right? We're always getting voted the most dangerous city, highest homicide rates per capita, all of that, right? Okay, we know that. So like that would be like us embracing that and going, St. Louis, a great place to get shot. That's
No,
what that
it's
feels
not.
like. Yes, it does.
No, this is that's a morbid sense of humor.
It is a morbid
this is
sense of humor.
Missouri loves company is a fun sense of humor.
But it also sounds like we're alone and sad.
No, it's
yes, it does. Like, first of all, misery and Missouri, where it's like, yeah, we're kind of sad and lonely and uncomfortable. And then loves company, meaning to me, it feels like Jeb Bush's please clap.
What is please clap? I don't
Remember when
that.
he gave a speech and made a joke and he said, please clap, and then people... How do you not know please clap? Find that.
I don't remember that.
Tyler, can you find the please clap? How
Jeb
can you
Bush?
not?
I don't remember
Yes, it was famous because he was asking the crowd to clap. This feels like we're saying, we're sad. Please come visit us. We need company.
Let's see what Eric in DeSoto thinks. Hello, Eric. You're on KMOX.
Hey, Chris, I'm going to have to back you up on this one. I couldn't even leave a voicemail, okay? I love this so much. I'm starting a business. I don't know what it is, but I'm starting a business because of this, because I love it that much.
See?
This is great.
It's a winner.
Are you for, I don't know, you don't have to say if you're for or against marijuana. I'm personally against it, but I thought of some great names if I owned a weed store. One would be called Weed the People.
Wow. You worry me.
And then another one would be Budhead.
You worry me.
Doesn't she?
Come on, man.
She's off.
How can you love Misery Loves Company and not love Weed the People?
How are you going to give me trouble about this, Miss Party Pooper?
Oh, listen, we don't know each other well enough to start calling me names.
How about this? How about this, Eric?
I don't even know you.
Eric, let me float you my business idea. All right, Eric. The Onder Law Firm. Is it Jim?
Bob?
Bob
well,
Onder.
No, Bob's the other guy.
I don't know, Jim
There's
Onder.
a lot of Onders.
There's
Jim
a lot of
Onder.
Onders.
Yeah.
So Onder. So I have an idea, and my idea is to start a clothing business with Jim Onder, and we call it Onderwear. What do you think of that?
Why are you in radio? You should be a millionaire.
I know. That one's a winner.
Underwear is so good.
Thank you, Eric. Eric, we appreciate the
Thanks
phone call.
for calling in, Eric.
I think those are good ideas.
Do you think the Onder Law Firm's listening?
Well, I hope so.
I mean, listen, guys, you could have a line of clothing.
I think Jim Onder's listening right now going, you know what? That's what.
Would it all be zip-ups? Half zips?
Buttons. By the way, who invented Buttonfly?
Right.
Who invented that?
Someone who never...
It was Levi's, right?
Yes.
Why?
Because they never had to go to the bathroom really quickly.
Were Buttonflies the original? Is that the thing? There weren't
I
zippers
think
back
so.
in the whenever they invented jeans. Is that what happened?
I think so.
Because Buttonfly...
Buttons have been around forever.
I do this a lot. Well, I don't do it anymore
Mm-hmm.
because I learned my lesson. But I know the size that I wear.
Yep.
I'll be like, okay, that's that. There I am. I grab the pair of pants,
Yeah.
buy them, and leave. Don't try them on. Sometimes I didn't used to. And then I got home and they were Buttonflies.
Yep.
That's the worst
So
feeling in the whole
I
world.
have some OG Levi's mom jeans. Those are all Buttonfly. Yep.
It's awful.
I mean, it's not the worst thing. 314-436-7900 to call or leave a text about Missouri Loves Company.
I think it's great. And I'm so glad Eric backed me up on it. Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji on KMOX.
KMOX News.
Sharing information
With the local news you need to hear.
There's a lot of interesting topics to pay attention to that could actually affect your daily life.
I think it's important to be better informed about what's going on around you.
Because it affects you, everything around you.
Locally.
To understand
The way that people in your neighborhood kind of live their life.
how the world around me will affect me.
Staying informed with the trusted voice of news.
The cornerstone of trust.
News Radio 1120. KMOX.
Creating a successful garden is all about planning. Some plants provide shade and others repel pests. When everything's balanced, the whole garden really thrives. My doctor at Archwell Health, she's all about planning too. We meet regularly to check my progress and make sure my health is looking good.
Looking for primary care for adults age 60 and up? With more one-on-one time with your doctor, same-day appointments for members, and locations near you, Archwell Health has everything you need to flourish. Visit archwellhealth.com today to learn more.
Hello, I am Missouri State Treasurer Vivek Malik. How would you like a tax break and help kids? You can with the Most Scholars program. When you make a donation to Most Scholars to provide scholarships, you can cut up to half of your state income taxes. The Most Scholars tax credit is available for individuals and businesses. Learn more by going to mostscholars.com, or you may call 573-751-8533.
Sponsored by the Missouri State Treasurer's Office. Fall's here, and now's the perfect time to install a new heating and cooling system from Smart House Heating and Cooling.
Get no interest and no payments for 12 months, plus rebates along with federal tax incentives up to $5,400 on eligible equipment. Ask about the Mitsubishi Mini Split. And don't be left in the cold. Smart House is a BBB Torch Award recipient for ethics and integrity and the smart choice for your family's comfort. Go to callsmarthouse.com. They'll do the right thing for you.
It's football season at Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas, featuring the best pool in history. Stadium Square, 3 levels, 6 pools, and a 143-foot diagonal screen. Stadium Swim is America's favorite place to watch football.
Touchdown! Unbelievable!
Stadium Swim, located at Circa Resort and Casino. Book today at CircaLasVegas.com. That's CircaLasVegas.com.
At 11:29, we've got sun and 59 degrees downtown at the Arch.
This just in.
Missouri's chief education officer is departing. Margie Vandeven says she'll be stepping down as state commissioner of education next July. She's been in the job for about 7 years, over 2 stints. She's focused on technical education and apprenticeships. Governor Parson, in a statement, says, quote, Margie kept a level head and successfully led Missouri schools through a global pandemic. Wyndham says its board is unanimously rejecting Choice Hotels' unsolicited buyout offer worth nearly $8 billion. Earlier, Choice Hotels International said it was asking shareholders of Wyndham to sign off on the proposed buyout after Wyndham broke off negotiations. Israel keeps hitting Gaza with airstrikes while it prepares for a possible ground invasion. Badly needed humanitarian aid is stuck at the Rafah crossing located at the border between Egypt and Gaza. Egyptian Foreign Minister Sami Shukri says conditions are still too dangerous for the aid to flow through.
Rafah crossing on our side is officially open. Rafah crossing has been subjected to 4 aerial bombardments that have made the crossing inaccessible.
We've got some slow-moving road work on 270 going west at McDonald Boulevard. The left lane is closed. Some road work on 44 going west before the business loop in Grace Summit. The right lane is closed, and a one-car crash on 55 north at the exit to 44 west. The left lane is closed. Weather is sponsored by Sandberg Phoenix Law Firm. High today approaching 70, low tonight 49. Tomorrow's high 76. Right now sunny and 59 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
Did you know that St. Louis Composting has an array of STA-certified compost, soil, and mulch products that are available by the bag or by the truckload? It's the healthy, all-natural, cold-weather dyed for your garden and lawn. For more information, visit stlcompost.com.
Broadcasting from the Underlying Tree Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
Now, your Live Nation lineup.
Don't miss these upcoming shows. KISS, October 25th, Enterprise Center. Metallica, the Dome at America's Center, November 3rd and November 5th. And TSO, Enterprise Center, December 17th.
For tickets and info, hit up LiveNation.com.
Your home has made you equity rich on paper, and you're planning on using that cash to retire, travel, or just downsize into a new place that's paid off. Well, good for you. But the longer you wait, the greater chance higher interest rates could chip away your home's value. While your home value is still high, the time to act is now with Truehold. Truehold buys your home now, and you can stay in your home for as long as you want. Truehold buys your home for its best current value, and you bank the cash to do whatever you like, while Truehold takes care of property taxes, insurance, and upkeep. Don't miss this opportunity to cash in on your equity and stay in your home as long as you'd like as a renter. Visit Truehold.com and discover how much Truehold will buy your home for today based on its best current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without having to move. That's Truehold.com.
Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes talks football, family, and more. Monday nights during Sports Open Line. Only on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
It's Amy Marks, Course, and Chris Ranji on KMOX. Apparently, a lot of people either love or hate the new slogan, Missouri loves company.
Missouri loves company.
I think it's brilliant, and it's an effort by the state to get businesses to come to Missouri and, work here.
They say the CEO of Missouri Partnership said that this campaign is edgy, innovative, and informative.
I think it's brilliant. Let's see what Sarah in St. Louis thinks. She's with us on KMOX. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, how are you?
We're good. What's up?
Oh, nothing. I have to agree. I think that it does remind me of misery instead of whatever. So I suggest we say, "Show me your business," which is also edgy, right?
Yes.
Actually, that's not bad at all.
Honestly, that's
Sarah,
amazing.
that's really good.
Sarah, that
Missouri.
Show me your
business. That might be better.
That's better.
I'm writing that down.
That's way edgier.
Show me your business.
Oh my gosh, Sarah, that's
boy.
a winner. Wow. She should be a millionaire.
Let's talk to John in O'Fallon, Illinois. Hi, John.
What was that previous caller's name, Sarah?
Yes.
Sarah, you need to run for governor of Missouri.
Yes.
Show me
Yes.
your business.
That's so good. John, do you feel like your suggestion's going to be inadequate now?
Well, I'm calling on a different topic, but I mean, I'm still laughing when you brought me on the line. I'm calling about the button front jeans. Oh, and by the way, happy birthday, Amy.
We stopped celebrating that 5 months ago.
Why,
John.
thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, Chris, I am that guy. I'm calling about the button front jeans. I love them, Chris, and I'll explain to you the reason why.
Oh, no.
When you unbutton the top button, when you got to get out of your jeans for whatever need you have.
Yeah.
As soon as you unbutton that top button, you pull that material to the opposite sides and pop, they all open up. There's no zipper to mess with. You don't have to worry about the zipper getting stuck. You just
How often
pull
does your
open
zipper
and they
get
all
stuck?
How about the little I don't know what you call it, but the clip that you grasp with your fingers when it folds up the wrong way and then you can't get it and you got to dig at it with your fingernails.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. That
Just
does suck.
unbutton the top one and pull it open and they all unbutton without you having to do anything.
All right.
And when you get used to it, you could button that darn thing up very, very fast. 501 jeans, awesome.
All right, John.
Excellent.
I
Thank
appreciate the tip. I've always had difficulty with them. And I got pretty good
First
dexterity,
of all,
so I don't know.
I don't think you do. I'm pretty good at buttons, but in the last 24 hours, I've learned that you struggle with button front jeans and tying your shoes.
I don't know how to tie my shoes right.
Yeah, so I think this might be, you know what I mean, an issue with you. This might be a
Absolutely.
you problem.
I learned wrong.
Yeah.
I learned the wrong technique. I can do it fast, and I feel like it's too late to try something new.
Sure.
I think I'm stuck with whatever it is I do.
I think you should definitely give up.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's why I have to double knot. I'm a 40-something-year-old man.
Yeah. And your jeans are
45,
unbuttoned
46.
and your shoes are coming untied. I think you're 46.
I'm 46. I'm a 46-year-old man, and I don't know how to tie my shoes right.
Well,
and here's the thing. I've been saying this for years. I've been saying, I think I don't know how to do it right.
You need to call someone from Granite City and from maybe the school board and ask them, where are we falling short here?
I forgot how I learned, to be honest with you. Damon is with us. Damon from Ladue. What's going on, Damon?
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen?
We're good.
Can you show us your business?
Actually, I can. However, before we get to that, I last time I talked to you guys, I told you that I had two, I was calling Kelly and Hancock, Hancock and Kelly, the dynamic duo. I have two sayings. I'm going to let you guys decide which is the best.
All right.
Now, one of them is a play on Amy's name, of course, is the Amiable Allies.
Oh. That's very nice.
That's
very
not bad.
clever.
Yeah, because as cantankerous and as way you guys beat each other, doesn't matter. You guys are actually really, truly good friends. And you agree on the stuff, the good stuff y'all agree on.
Yeah.
The other things, I don't really care.
Yeah.
The other name for you guys, the Battling Brains.
Yeah. Although, I mean, if we are in a battle of wits, I don't think it's fair for me to fight someone who's unarmed.
I was thinking of calling us the bumbling boobs, because that's kind of what we are.
No, you can't.
Why?
Well, no, I thought about the baffling buffoons, but I would think that was a little bit of an insult.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to go down that road.
Yeah.
But no, I like you guys are both very smart, even though you may not think so yourselves. You actually are very smart, very learned, and you keep up on things, and I like that about you. But anyway,
Thank you, Damon.
We go to the point. The saying that I think is just totally out, is just great. This is it right here. Check this out. Mo awesome. If you no, let me get it right. Okay.
Come on, Damon. You got one chance.
Okay, I got you. Okay. Mo awesome. If you don't believe, we can show you.
Hey, Mo awesome.
That's awesome.
If you don't believe,
we can show you.
Okay, Damon, that's not. Let me run this one by you. I just thought of it, and I'm kind of taking part of yours. All right. Here's my slogan for Missouri.
Yeah.
Mo money, fewer problems.
Well,
What about
that
that one?
idea
That's a
is
good
kind of
one.
funny. I don't know if the businesses will pick up on that, but
I don't know. I think
as
it's
a
great.
slang expression, that's pretty good.
That's
I
awesome.
like it.
Thank you, Damon. Damon's a great contributor.
He is. Thank you, Damon.
Mo awesome. Oh, I forgot to write down the rest.
Mo money.
No, that was mine. Mine was because listen, we want an influx of revenue
Yeah.
to the state. So if we have businesses, we have revenue. So mo money, fewer problems. It's not good. I think that's pretty good.
You know what? It's forward looking.
It is.
That's what you want. You want forward looking. Mo money, fewer problems.
I honestly thought we could not do any better than the present campaign of Missouri Loves Company.
But show me your
business. Sarah nailed it.
Please, the Missouri partnership. It is not too late to change to show me your business, which is edgy. You wanted it to be edgy.
Look, we've got a lot of texters who think Sarah has nailed it.
Sarah, you can't. It's unbelievable. Hire her.
This one says, Missouri,
Mhm.
you don't need a rocket ship to visit Uranus. Come on, what does that even mean?
What is that?
That doesn't.
Oh my
that
gosh,
doesn't
you
make
can't
any
read
sense.
that.
It's a. What are you talking about? That's a planet. Uranus is a planet.
It's a place in Missouri too.
There's a Uranus, Missouri.
I think so.
How did you not know that? There's a fudge factory.
Yep, you're right.
Come on,
Ron.
What?
How do you not know
I don't
about
know.
the fudge factory? And
Come on. That's not real.
it's real. Google it.
There is?
Yeah.
No.
What was the other thing he didn't know about? Oh, please clap.
Uranus Fudge Factory? That's real. Oh my God, you're kidding me.
No, Ron, how do
So
you
how
not know
far is
about
it from
this?
here? It is 2 hours from here. Oh, it's by Fort Leonard Wood. I had no idea.
How did you not know?
I don't know.
And you didn't know about please clap. I think Tyler's gonna find that. Yeah. Tyler's gonna find that.
Please clap. The Jeb Bush thing?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember that at
Okay,
all.
Missouri partnership. Instead of Missouri Loves Company, we're gonna do show us your business.
Show us your
me your
business is so
business.
good.
Sorry, show me your business because
Show
of the
me-
show me state.
Yeah, show me
You
your
know
business.
how you have
Underwear.
underwear with the underlaw people. What if you partnered with like a sausage company or beef?
Okay.
And it could be show meats.
All right. This texter says St. Louis has mo money, now still has problems. Yeah, but we're not spending it yet.
Oh, you know
It's
what
collecting interest.
I forgot. I wanted to say this. I really appreciate this about you, Ranj. You said mo money, fewer problems.
Instead of saying less problems.
That's exactly right. And
Because
if you're
fewer is the
wondering,
correct.
fewer is when you can count it. Less is when you cannot. For instance, you add fewer apples, but less sugar because you can't have 5 sugars.
Mm-hmm.
So you say less sugar and then fewer because you can have 5 apples.
Well, you can have 5 sugars because when you ask for coffee, you say 1 cream, 2 sugars.
Those are packets.
Still 2 sugars, isn't it? And this is why everybody hates you.
Oh my gosh, 2 sugars. That should be the name of our show.
636. Most of Missouri won't get the joke. They don't pronounce the state name correctly. They say Missouri. There's a thing about that
Oh,
too.
yeah. That's
There's a
tomorrow.
poll. Yeah, we're going to talk about that tomorrow. Because there is a new polling
But you know what everybody gets?
about
Yeah.
what is appropriate is in Missouri or Missouri.
Missouri.
Yeah.
But everybody would get show me your business.
People are telling me that I need to go see the Uranus Fudge Factory in Missouri. Is it Uranus or Uranus? How do they pronounce it? I'm asking, does anybody know?
I think they say Uranus.
Uranus? Uranus, Missouri. Tyler, do you know? Did you know Uranus, Missouri existed? I've never been to Uranus.
What kind of bubble do you live in?
What do you mean? I know a lot of these other towns. I just
Hey.
never heard of.
And for the record, Ranji used to tell people he lived in a bubble.
I did.
We'll get to that later.
Like an actual bubble.
Yeah.
No, that I had to sleep in it at night because I was deathly ill. I told a girl in high school that I had to sleep inside a plastic bubble every night, like the Bubble Boy. And she bought it. And then she was mad at me when she found out that I didn't.
Whatever you got to do
She
to
went-
catch a lady.
Because I said to her, don't tell anybody. I was on the phone with her
Mm.
and I pretended to get into I don't know what I don't know. And I pretended to get inside this bubble. And she
Mm.
said, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, I have to sleep in this bubble every night because my immune system isn't very good. And she bought it. And I said, please don't say anything.
Yeah. For
She
obvious
immediately
reasons.
went to school the next day and told somebody.
Yeah.
And they're like, he doesn't sleep. What are you talking about? I was joking. Anyway, Uranus, Missouri.
The Fudge,
Factory. That is amazing.
If you're listening now at the Fudge Factory, feel free to call us.
At 314-436-7900. It's Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji on KMOX.
Saturday, October 21st. Come kick it with KMOX at St. Louis Union Station and celebrate the home game of St. Louis City SC. The pregame pep rally will take place on the Purina Performance Plaza, featuring live entertainment, soccer-themed games, Union Station attraction giveaways, and more. Afterwards, get closer to the game and visit the pitch at STL Union Station as City SC takes on the Seattle Sounders. Pep rally starts at 4. Game starts at 7:30. We'll see you there.
Old Town Donuts has just been awarded the most treasured business award from the North County Chamber of Commerce. Get $2 off a dozen donuts, limit of 2, when you go to oldtowndonuts.com. Show the coupon to redeem in Florissant and Cottleville.
The IRS definitely ramped up operations since the pandemic slowed them down, and activity only increases from here. Hi, this is Lance Story with the Lance Story Law Firm. If you're currently under audit or you haven't paid your taxes in the past, now's the time to call the Lance Story Law Firm. The IRS has a published Taxpayer Bill of Rights, which says you have the right to retain legal representation because IRS problems are legal problems, and the Lance Story Law Firm focuses specifically on addressing IRS issues for our clients. It's all we do. We get out in front of the IRS, devise the best resolution plan, and work to make sure you're able to take advantage of every program you're qualified to receive. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure company, call the Lance Story Law Firm. We're local, located right here in St. Louis, or visit Lance, DRURYlaw.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Lance Story Law Firm, 314-238-7360.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Grammy-nominated Joe Bonamassa, hailed as one of the world's greatest guitar players. Blues rock titan Joe Bonamassa.
Still winging it all time.
Performing live on Saturday, November 11th at the Fabulous Fox. Tickets on sale now at fabulousfox.com. Joe Bonamassa. Don't miss the guitar event of the year.
You wouldn't trust a butcher to babysit your pet pig. You wouldn't trust a lumberjack to repair your antiques. Or a professional wrestler to be your massage therapist. So why would you trust anyone but AMCO to fix your car? For over 50 years, we've been the trusted experts in transmission repair.
AMCO offers easy payment plan options for most any credit situation, so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow. At AMCO.
AA, MCO.
This is Christina Straight with Straight Realty reminding you why pay more than $4. In 2003, we had a dream to start a real estate company that would revolutionize the real estate market. Now, 20 years later, after navigating through the many markets' ups and downs, we know exactly how to help you in this challenging time. I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. Don't give away your hard-earned equity. Give us a call today, 314-441-4444, 314-441-ALL-4s. And remember, why pay more than $4?
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
Amy Marks Course
This is my show, my microphone.
on KMOX.
It's Chris and Amy show on KMOX. We are fixing all of Missouri's problems today. The text messages to 314-436-7900. And I just found out there was a Uranus, Missouri.
I don't know how you didn't know that.
I
Everybody
grew
knows
up here
that.
and I did not know it.
The Fudge
And
Factory.
the texter says it's near Devil's Elbow. And every time you walk in the store, an employee says, "Welcome to Uranus." And their slogan is "The best fudge comes from Uranus." And that is how it's pronounced. I didn't know that. Unbelievable. Uranus, Missouri is 2 hours southwest of us in St.
Sounds
Louis.
like a shift disturbers location.
We gotta. Oh
Chris
man!
and Amy live from Uranus.
Well, I bet John Marcus couldn't be happier. He walked into this. John Marcus with the Hechinger Report. He is the editor there, and he joins us on the Quiver River Electric guest line this morning. John, we appreciate your time. How are you?
Thanks for having me, and I just learned something new.
You didn't know about Uranus, Missouri, did you?
I did not know that, and now I'm delighted that I do. It made my day.
Where are you from, John?
Boston.
I'm in Boston.
Okay, well, so this is definitely not helping improve your thought of the Midwest and how cool we are.
So let me ask you
Sure
this.
it is.
Sure, let's ask this question because this whole conversation that we're having about Uranus, whatever, it devolved.
Yeah.
But the conversation started with there's a new ad campaign or a campaign to get businesses to come to Missouri. And the slogan is Missouri loves company. And we were trying to decide if that's good or not, and if that makes us look like a better state from the outside world.
I'm going to try to avoid sort of an interstate conflict here and not weigh in on that slogan, but a lot of states are doing that, and that actually connects with, I think, why you asked me to talk to you today.
Yes, it does. A lot of states are trying to keep people in the state because, depending on where you look, you have aging populations in a lot of places around the country. And when people grow up and they go to college, they move, they go somewhere else. We know that very well in the state of Missouri, that a lot of people who graduate don't stay here and they go elsewhere. But there are states, John, around the country trying to do something about that.
So we share that problem. In the Northeast and the Midwest have a demographic problem. Our populations are declining. In fact, in half of all the states, more people are dying than being born. And so states are aging, and they're really hard up for young talent who can work in jobs in tech and other kind of segments of the knowledge economy that's kind of emerging nationwide. And in fact, Missouri does do this to a degree. But states in New England, which is the oldest part of the country in terms of median age of population, are doing it more. They're sort of the canary in the coal mine in trying to get people to stay and come to these states.
I was kind of shocked to hear you say that you're having that same issue in the Northeast, because when I look at a city like Boston or New York or any of that area, it's so desirable. So you are trying to get workers. Are you having the students who graduate from college in the Northeast stay in the Northeast, or are they also leaving that area?
Well, Boston has a different situation. Boston's very expensive. So we're not necessarily, but it's still a desirable place to live, yes. And a lot of people come to Boston to go to college. But New England is much broader than Boston. We're talking about states, Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, the three states in the country with the oldest populations. Maine is first, New Hampshire second, and Vermont third oldest. Those are places where people leave for Boston or New York or Chicago. And that's been a problem. So what they're doing now is helping to repay students' college loans, college graduate student loans, if they will agree to stay for a certain number of years. In Vermont or Maine, what's new is that they'll pay you they'll help you pay your college loans no matter what you've majored in. But 42 states nationwide, including Missouri, will repay your college loans in certain circumstances. So in Missouri, if you work in healthcare and you agree to work in an area where there's shortages of healthcare workers, you can get up to $5,000 a year in loan forgiveness. If you are a medical professional, an oral surgeon, an internist, an OBGYN, you can get up to $50,000 of your student loans repaid if you commit to working for at least 2 years in Missouri in what they call a designated health professional shortage area. So a lot of states are doing this. Vermont and Maine have kind of stepped into the deep end here and made it available to anyone for any job. But this is how states are going to have to begin to compete for talent.
Yeah, is with Missouri. Will there be specific careers that are outlined? I read from your report that in Utah, for example, doctors, dentists, and pharmacists who work at least 3 years in underserved parts of Utah can get up to $75,000 of their students' loans paid off. So with Missouri, is it just going to government websites? How would you find out what you need to do to get some relief?
Yes, there is a Missouri State website that if you Google student loan forgiveness or student loan repayment, that will tell people about these programs. And in terms of who qualifies, in Missouri, as in many states, it's healthcare workers because there's a shortage of healthcare workers in particularly rural areas. In other states, it's healthcare workers and teachers. And in 5 states, it's large animal veterinarians, which are in huge shortage right now. And so those are where you begin to see states leveraging student loan forgiveness to try to get people to stay or come to those states.
Which states were the tip of the spear for a program like this? And have they seen a lot of success?
You mean in terms of in terms of first?
Yeah.
I think Maine probably was the first. They have the biggest problem. I grew up in Maine, and it's a beautiful state that nobody lives in. It's huge and very sparsely populated. Half the state, they don't even have names of towns. There's just squares in the map with numbers. And so, but there's also an emerging tech industry. It's a tourist destination, and they are just desperately short of people because the population is aging, baby boomers are retiring. So Maine has had this program for a while, although they just revamped it and kind of made it simpler. They will help you pay your student loan off as a tax credit for up to 10 years and up to $25,000 of your student loan. So they were probably the first, and I'm thinking, and people have been telling me that this will begin to be something that we'll see more broadly in a lot of states, making student loan repayment available no matter what your field, even if you're not in medicine or education or a large animal veterinarian.
John Marcus, writer and editor at the Hechinger Report. The title of the piece, if you want to look it up for yourself, highly recommended. Aging States to College Graduates, We'll Pay You to Stay. It is very interesting. And John, we appreciate your time today. Thank you for visiting with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
That is John Marcus, editor at the Hechinger Report, with us here on KMOX. It's Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji. We will recap what you've missed, and by God, it's a lot here on KMOX.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out.
Binges, blackouts, regret, shame, trying and failing to drink less or quit. Hi, I'm Jonathan, founder of Or Health. I know how scary drinking too much can be because I struggled with alcohol misuse for most of my adult life. But I also know that it is possible to drink less or quit. And medication can help. Naltrexone is a safe, effective medication that makes it easier to cut back or quit drinking, so you don't have to rely on willpower alone. I started Or Health to make access to naltrexone convenient and private, to help people like me regain control over alcohol.
If you're ready to stop drinking or just drink less, text BACK to 323232 to get a secure link to Or Health's private online assessment. Our licensed medical professionals will evaluate your assessment, and if medication is right for you, prescribe it online. We'll deliver your prescription right to your door. No doctor's office visits required. Text the word BACK to 323232 to get started today. That's BACK to 323232.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZI to learn more.
KMOX, KECK HD2, K254CR, St. Louis.
The legendary voice of St. Louis, KMOX. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The check engine light is on in Washington, but politicians keep driving the cars if nothing is happening. There it is again. It's Social Security. A new government report says the Social Security Trust Fund is projected to run out by the year 2035. If that happens, it would cause all beneficiaries to take more than a 20% cut to their benefits. What does that mean for you? When should you start taking benefits? And how can you get every dollar of Social Security you're entitled to? The team at Heisey Advisory Group has been helping families optimize their Social Security benefits for over 17 years, and they can do the same for you. Give them a call, 314-328-4400 to schedule your visit with one of the advisors at Heisey Advisory Group. Again, that's 314-328-4400.
Our firm is not affiliated with the U.S. government. Investment advisory products and services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, and SEC-registered investment advisors. Security products and services made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC. AEFS and Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC are not affiliated.
Mid-America's most trusted source for news. KMOX.
At 12 noon, the news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. We've got a sunny sky. It's 61 degrees downtown at the Arch, and the House has just begun voting for the next Speaker of the House. Let's take a listen in live.
Bishop of Georgia. Jeffries. Bishop of North Carolina. Jordan. Blumenauer. Jeffries. Blunt Rochester. Jeffries. Bobert. Jordan. Bonamici. Jeffries.
And the latest tally is 16 votes for Jim Jordan, 10 votes for the Democrat Hakeem Jeffries. That's 17 votes for Jim Jordan, and 1 vote for Kevin McCarthy, the ousted House Speaker. That comes from Representative Don Bacon of New England, Representative Don Bacon has just voted for McCarthy. As we continue to watch this, 17-18 for Jordan and 12 for Jeffries. CBS News congressional correspondent Scott McFarland has more on how they tried to win people over to Jordan.
His whips, his surrogates have told me that they've tried to apply some conservative MAGA talk radio pressure on the Republican holdouts, try to make it politically intolerable for them to go any other way but for Jim Jordan.
Jordan. Budzinski. Jeffries.
And again, there is one defection in the GOP. There are 217 votes that Jim Jordan needs. So just a few Republicans can defect. And one of those, Nebraska's Don Bacon, has decided to vote for Kevin McCarthy. President Joe Biden leaves today for a high-stakes trip to Israel. CBS News senior White House correspondent Ed O'Keefe has more on the president's trip.
Just a crucial few hours on the ground. He stops first in Tel Aviv tomorrow for meetings with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and members of his war cabinet. From there, he's set to visit Amman, Jordan, where he'll huddle with that country's King Abdullah, Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, and Mahmoud Abbas, head of the Palestinian Authority.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken has been working on ways to get humanitarian aid to civilians in Gaza. Missouri's Commissioner of Education is leaving her post next year. Margie Vandeven today announced she'll step down as of June 30th, giving the state months to find her replacement. She calls schools the soul of communities. Vandeven has been commissioner for 7 years with a 2-year break during the Greitens administration. The United Auto Workers strike against the Big Three has been going on for a month now. They want better pay and benefits.
The latest is that they've been talking, but it doesn't seem like they're making a whole lot of progress.
WWJ auto reporter Jeff Gilbert says American car makers have begun arguing for years for the need to lower labor costs to compete with the world.
Now they're saying companies like Tesla have even lower labor costs. Still, they have to compete with them. And there are other startups coming. Ford actually mentioned possible future Chinese startups in the U.S. That could be making cars here at even lower labor costs.
UAW members at the GM plant in Wentzville were a part of the first wave to strike. The Dow from Stiefel is up 55 points to 34,040. We've got some road work on 70 East before Cave Springs Truman. The left lane is closed. Also, 141 going north at 21. The right lane there is closed.
Sunny skies and a nice afternoon as we approach 70. We'll be back down the mid-upper 40s tonight. Even milder tomorrow, breezy, mostly sunny up to 76. Breezy, cooler with clouds, some sunny breaks, and a shower around on Thursday, the high 67. Back to near 70 to finish out the week and start the weekend with sunshine Friday and Saturday. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Steve DeVore, the voice of St. Louis, KMOX.
Sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning. We've got sun and 61 degrees downtown at the Arch.
Clark of Massachusetts.
And the latest tally in the U.S. House Speaker vote is 31 for the Republican Jim Jordan, 29 for Representative Hakeem Jeffries, and 2 votes for other, including Nebraska's Republican Don Bacon, who has voted for Kevin McCarthy. Continuing coverage on KMOX, I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
But my lips are turning blue. Are they fast?
My darling, Jerry Kelly can install a new furnace tomorrow, no matter what day tomorrow is, even if we call late at night.
You are my hero.
They're fast and they're good and they got it going on. JerryKelly.com.
Time to rewind. It's the Chris and Amy Rewind Recap.
Oh, this show's been full of events today, I would say. Amy Marks Kors, and I'm Chris Ranji.
You've missed a lifetime. If you are just now tuning in, welcome. Hello.
Hey.
And you missed a lot. Ranj had his world rocked by Uranus, Missouri.
Uranus rocked my world, man. I didn't know that Uranus, Missouri existed. Had no idea.
I don't know how you
area.
didn't know.
I don't know. Maybe I did and forgot. I don't know.
The Fudge Factory? How do you forget that?
Well, the Fudge Factory was at Union Station.
Not that Fudge Factory.
That's what I knew growing up.
Like they say, the best fudge comes from
Uranus. That's their slogan. It's just what they say.
Hey, before we move forward, Ranj also didn't know about Jeb Bush and one of his more inglorious moments.
But send a signal that we're prepared to act in the national security interests of this country to get back in the business of creating a more peaceful world. Please clap.
How did you not
I don't know? What? I don't remember that, man.
How do you not remember
Awesome.
that? Please clap is the best.
So good.
Because I was saying that Missouri Partnership, they're launching a new campaign to drive business to the state of Missouri, and it is called Missouri Loves Company.
Which I think is pretty great.
I thought it sounded kind of sad. Like, not only do you have the connotation of misery and sadness and despair and being pathetic, but you are lonely, so you want company. Misery Loves Company, to me, felt like a please clap moment.
And I thought it was a nice, it was just a way to not to make fun of yourself, but
have a sense of
say that
humor.
we've got a sense of humor. Yes.
And then Sarah called.
Oh, Sarah from St. Louis called, and she had a better slogan for us.
The best slogan. And that would be?
Show me your business.
That's right.
Which I think the Misery Loves Company people are listening going, damn it. Now we have to redesign the website.
Because they said
they got to do it all
they
over
wanted
again.
something edgy innovative and informative, and show me your business is edgy. Hey.
Just absolutely amazing.
Nice work, Sarah. We have the best listeners.
Well done. We also discussed the vote on the House floor. Right now, they are voting about whether or not Jim Jordan will be the new Speaker of the House. He is the Republican nominee, but a lot of people appear to not be on board with him. Maybe not enough. He may not have the 217 votes that he needs. At this particular count, Representative Jeffries has 53 votes. Jim Jordan has 45 votes, and others have 4. I believe Kevin McCarthy is at least one of those votes. I know Don Bacon, representative, has said he will not vote for Jim Jordan. Ann Wagner, our local representative here, so not technically in the city of St. Louis, but just to the west here and part of south of St. Louis. She represents a huge part of that and said she will not work with Democrats. So she is now going to vote for Jim Jordan after last week saying absolutely not to him.
Yeah, a second district, a pretty large district, a lot of St. Louis County, I think some of Franklin County as well. Representative Ann Wagner did say last week, absolutely not, when it came to supporting Jim Jordan. And now she said she will support him. And look, if you don't speak in absolutes, you give yourself a little leeway to stay honest, but also work within the parameters of compromise that are necessary in Congress. Now, we're talking within her own party. So that's why if she had said, I would like to support this person, however, in order to keep the House functioning, we need a speaker, so we'll have to work through it. Or if you do speak in absolutes and say absolutely not Jim Jordan, then you stand by that and you absolutely do not vote for Jim Jordan. But I think the phrase that concerned me the most, as Ranj pointed out, was I absolutely refuse to work with Democrats.
It was the very first sentence. It was the first sentence of her statement.
The job. The job is for
compromise.
Democrats to work with Republicans and Republicans to work with Democrats, and losing compromise, viewing compromise viewing compromise as weakness is the number one way to hamstring a Congress and not allow any business to go
country.
forward.
It hamstrings a country.
Yes.
And when you have, regardless of your position, if you're far left, far right, and you refuse to move off that position ever, you'll never make any progress in the direction that you want. You have to, sometimes you got to do little baby steps. And baby steps means oftentimes having a little bit of compromise here. And people generally are sick and tired of folks in Congress who absolutely refuse to work for the other side. Now, there are some hardliners, and we got a couple of texts that said, I want her to do that. I don't want her to work with Democrats. Well, guess what? You are part of the problem then. If any political party, member of any political party, says about the other party, I do not want them to work together, you are absolutely part of our country's problem.
What's interesting is that right now there is such strong currents of anti-establishment, such strong currents of populism, of anti-elite, that they want to drain the swamp and put in to Congress people have no experience at all in politics. And Ranj, you bring this up a lot. Yes, fresh young voices are needed. However, experience does count for something.
Yes.
Because you do have to be able to work with the other side. You do have to be diplomatic in ways and know how to compromise and build friendships and relationships. Look at us. We're friends, which allows us to talk about pretty contentious issues. And we get I get emotional sometimes. I can get upset. But we're friends, and we need that. It's because we have that trust that you and I can have serious, genuine conversations.
How about Hancock and Kelly? Have been doing it for years.
Imagine now you're in Congress and you have none of those relationships. How in the world would you ever compromise and get things done? There is something to be said for experience and relationships.
And there are bad faith actors. I think the person right now who is the Republican favorite to be the Speaker of the House is he's famously a bad faith actor and has been doing this for years. So I think he'd be a terrible Speaker of the House. And you know what? If they don't want him, And maybe you could work together with Democrats and find somebody. You could probably find a conservative or conservative leaning Speaker of the House and get some Democratic support. You wouldn't get all of it, but you might get enough to make it happen. But what they don't want are these hard right-wingers who will not budge on anything. So why does it have to be a person from the far right or far left who will not move off a position ever? Why do we have to have people like that?
You know how John Hancock talks a lot about the institution, and the integrity of the institution is necessary, integral to the stability of our government and our country at large. Here's how I know things are changing. If you had asked me 15, 20 years ago, who are some out there Democrats, progressive Democrats who I really disagreed with, right? It would have been like a Dianne Feinstein, a Nancy Pelosi. I would have looked at Bill Clinton as being pretty darn to the left. Now Bill Clinton looks like a Republican. I mean, he looks pretty moderate, right? Yeah. But then also, here's what I miss with Dianne Feinstein. Not her policy, but she got it. She respected the institution, and she was someone that you could disagree with, but you could also work with. The same with Nancy Pelosi. And Nancy Pelosi will reel in the more fringy members of the Democratic Party. And she respects the institution. And you may disagree with her, and I'm not saying lifting her up, and I don't want to get into stocks and all of that. I'm just saying on the floor, these people understood how Congress operated. And now I feel like we are in a spot where you are glorified for halting the process of government.
That's never been a thing in my lifetime up until now.
Yeah. And I'm going to miss Dianne Feinstein at least understanding what the institution means.
And let's be honest, that's coming from one place. It's not coming from the hard left. It just isn't. As much as you want, not you, but as much as people want to both sides it, the hard left is not grinding Congress to a halt because they're not getting every single thing they want.
Yeah,
they're just not doing that.
This particular issue, you're right. This is coming from the GOP.
So we'll see what happens. Right now, Jim Jordan has 83 votes. Representative Jeffries has 77. Others have 9. Jordan needs to get to 217 in order to become Speaker of the House. My guess is this will not be the only vote today. Anything you missed on the Odyssey app, go back and get it. AUDACY. It's a free app. It is also on KMOX.com. Our podcasts are available if you miss anything on the show.
And that would, if you missed our conversation with Leland Vittert of News Nation. He is, I think he worked with Charlie Brennan back in the day.
Yep.
But he had a great insight into the conflict in Israel. Get that on the podcast or the app.
We talked to Justin Collette with the Beetlejuice musical. He plays Beetlejuice at the Fabulous Fox, fabulousfox.com for tickets. They're here through October 22nd. And John Marcus, the editor at the Hechinger Report. We talked to him as well about trying to keep talent in the state of Missouri by paying, at least in part, for college education.
42 states doing that now.
Yeah, it's a very good piece. You want to find that at the Hechinger Report as well. That's Amy Marks-Kors. I'm Chris Ranji. There's a homeless problem now. We've seen some of the problems with the homeless folks who live in the city. It's happening in a couple of different areas you may not be thinking of, and we will talk about that next on KMOX.
For everything online, it's Odyssey.com. Download the Odyssey app and listen to The Dave Glover Show and all the news, talk, sports, and podcasts that move you. Odyssey, that's AUDACY.
Beneath their gorgeous exterior, 1-800-GOT-JUNK trucks were designed to be ready for anything.
How about construction site junk?
All you have to do is point.
Retail, grocery store, warehouse, office junk?
Point, 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 point.
How about the monumental junk left after a fire or a flood or a hurricane?
This time, you'll need to do it with your other hand.
Why?
Because the first hand will be tired from all of that other pointing.
I see your point.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Get ready, St. Louis. It's Medicare annual enrollment period. So why not make enrolling easier with United Healthcare? Whether you choose our online tools or over-the-phone support, United Healthcare will help you compare options so you can choose a plan with confidence. This is Medicare made for St. Louis. Trusted everywhere. Explore our wide range of plans by calling United Healthcare today at 1-855-MEET-UHC. That's 1-855-MEET-UHC. Annual enrollment begins October 15th and ends December 7th, so call today.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
STL Today is named Under Law 2023's best St. Louis law firm. We'll continue to make a difference, one case at a time.
When you're injured, call Onder Law at 314 or 618-900,000.
Hey guys, Glover here for Lung Cancer Connection. Run, Walk, Breathe is Lung Cancer Connection's largest fundraiser for the year, allowing us to support Missouri's lung cancer community with our free programs and educate the public about the fight against lung cancer. There's a 5K, there's a 1 mile fun walk. It's all happening at the Chesterfield Amphitheater on November 4th. The registration is at 8:30 a.m. Ceremonies at 9:30 a.m. The run walk starts at 10:30 a.m. Go to lungcancerconnect.org.
It's football season at Circa Resort and Casino in Las Vegas, featuring the best pool in history. Stadium Square, 3 levels, 6 pools, and a 143-foot diagonal screen. Stadium Swim is America's favorite place to watch football. Touchdown! Unbelievable! Stadium Swim, located at Circa Resort and Casino. Book today at CircaLasVegas.com. That's CircaLasVegas.com.
Have you been wanting to find the secret to losing weight and getting healthy the natural way without drugs or injections? Hey everyone, it's Dr. Michael Glickert with St. Louis Weight Loss Secret, and I know the secret to losing a half a pound to a pound of fat every day, naturally, safely, and effectively, without counting points or calories, no prepackaged meals, no hormones, no drugs, no injections or surgery. Schedule a free consultation now at moweightloss.com.
Hey, this is Debbie Monterey, and I just would like to reiterate what Dr. Glickert said, that you can lose a half a pound to a pound per day with St. Louis Weight Loss Secret. And I can say that with confidence because that's what happened for me. Getting on the scale every morning, losing a half a pound to a pound was extremely motivating to stay on my plan. I lost 20 pounds in the first month. I've lost over 40 pounds altogether using St. Louis Weight Loss Secret. It really is not that hard when you follow their plan. Find out more by going to moweightloss.com. moweightloss.com.
Best newscast in the country. The KMOX Newsroom, national winner of the Edward R. Murrow Award for Best Newscast in America.
It's Amy Marks, Kors, and Chris Ranji on KMOX. Bottom of the hour, Dave Simon, Senior Vice President at UBS Financial Services, is going to join us about the conflict in Israel, or what's happening in Gaza with Israel and Hamas, their effort to wipe them out, and what financially that could mean for you, what it could mean for the economy, the world economy, the American economy. There's already one pretty significant war, if you want to call it that. I think that's the appropriate term, after the Russian invasion of Ukraine. That's ongoing. The United States is involved in it. And now we've got what's happening with Israel and Hamas. So how that will affect you financially in the country, that's coming up at the bottom of the hour with Dave Simons.
Yeah, I mean, there's like so much to get to today, but because we had talked about the tent, the encampment in front of City Hall that moved not even across the street, just down the way, about a stone's throw, still
Simon, it's
on
about
market.
half a block, I guess, right?
Or
the other end of the block.
Yeah, it's like
really.
it kind of looks like the same building, to be honest. That's how close it is. And so there are fewer tents, but still at least about a dozen on there on market. Well, we know that park across from City Hall, as well as the original City Hall encampment, has been cleared of the camps. And there are fences with signs around the park and City Hall that say closed for restoration.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, there is an issue at Laclede's Landing. There is a homeless community, a tent encampment at Laclede's Landing, and the businesses down there have been sending letters to the mayor's office for a while now, months, because of the issues that homeless encampment is creating. This has been in all our station, Total Information AM had it, Riverfront Times, KSDK, Post Dispatch, reports of bricks being thrown through the windows of businesses. open drug dealing in front of clients and customers right there in front of the offices. A man in May reportedly threatened to kill a group of employees eating lunch at the Catherine Wardberg Park on the Landing. The same day, a man entered the lobby of another building, which houses the Abstract offices. It's a company downtown, and the old spaghetti
It's the biggest
factory.
employer down there.
Yep, the biggest employer down there. And he was waving a meat cleaver. And they said there are fights, drug use, excrement, and that it's been a huge issue where at times businesses have to rush and usher in employees through the door because they're being accosted and harassed and threatened by the homeless. This was in the St. Louis Business Journal. They were able to, I guess, sunshine the emails. They got emails that had been sent to the mayor's office. The mayor's office had, has said, like, well, a spokesman for the mayor's office said they had tried previously to clear that encampment, but ran into some obstacles, but haven't really said much more than that. This is a big deal when we keep telling businesses to invest in the city. And Abstract is a growing business. I believe they're projected to be worth $100 million before long. This year, actually, their revenue was going to reach $100 million. Well, you can't have their employees being threatened. And in Laclede's Landing, if this is what it looks like, how are you going to revitalize the area? It's a beautiful area. I run down there in the morning sometimes with a group. And even once we were running around that area, and there was a homeless man. I don't know if he was on something, but he was yelling and throwing things, and it was intimidating. That's not a great way to grow an area.
Yeah, and like the email said from Abstract to the city, they realize you can't solve all of the homeless problems, but you can at least do something. And that's what they're asking for. And the larger big picture problem here is that there's clearly a mental health issue. There's clearly an affordable housing issue. And these are all not just St. Louis City problems. These exist, as you mentioned right at the top. This is happening everywhere. And again, housing is getting more and more expensive by the day. Again, that is everywhere. And so this is becoming a major issue. And for a country that says they want to do something about mental health, we're not doing enough about mental health. And we have to. You want to solve the problem or not? Because the thing you can't do is just keep pushing them out of areas, because they have to go somewhere. And they will end up going somewhere. So how do you solve this problem? I don't know. And I don't know what the city can do, but I'm certain that it is more than what they are doing right now.
And this is something else that we talked about earlier. There was the son of the former St. Louis County prosecutor, Bob McCullough.
Yeah.
His son was at a trunk or treat at an elementary school in Kirkwood, and he fired at least 12 shots into the air, threatened people before he was tackled. No one was hurt, but obviously a terrifying situation. Well, they called off school the next day, but they offered counselors in the schoolrooms, a therapy dog, and Tetris. Now, this is something that I did not know. It wasn't just a random game. So a new study has shown that playing the computer game Tetris within hours of experiencing trauma can prevent those feelings from taking over your mind, because PTSD occurs when you have intrusive memories linked to fear, like that moment with the shooter, and it becomes a traumatic event, and it becomes consolidated in a person's brain because you visualize the event in a loop, and then it's locked in your brain. And a new study has shown that playing with visualization, a game like Tetris, which is all visual, can block that consolidation from happening. So they're having the kids, if they want to, come into the school and play Tetris.
It makes so much sense.
That's incredible.
Tetris is such a, man, it's such a great game. By the way, there's a really, and this is a bit off the topic, but there is a really good movie about Tetris. And, oh God, the guy who played in The Kingsman, I forgot his name. Got the main actor anyway. He's in it, and it's about getting Tetris out of the Soviet Union and getting it onto Game Boys and how it blew up everywhere around the world. Really, really good movie. All right, that's Amy Marks Cores. I'm Chris Ranji. Dave Simons is next. Looks like Jim Jordan's not going to get it on this first vote. We will keep you updated, though, what happens today on KMOX.
Hey guys, it's Dave from the Dave Glover Show, 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. on KMOX. This promo is going to sound like everyone else's promo, but everyone else's promo is a lie. They're just copying off of us. We are the original show about nothing. We're the original show about everything. We're just a bunch of smart people acting stupid and stupid people acting smart. And when you put it all together, it's a pretty good mix. We are 23 years in, and we are STLAF. That's the DGS 1 to 5 p.m. KMOX.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Hey, it's Bo Matthews for Reinhold Electric, and big news for this group. They have been working hard for decades for St. Louis. They have been named Electrician of the Year 2 years running now by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. So if you want a top-notch electrician, big or small, no matter what the size is, residential, commercial, industrial settings, Reinhold Electric has the experts that can tackle any of those jobs. 314-631-1158. Tell them Bo sent you to Reinhold Electric. Online at reinholdelectric.com.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out.
Binges, blackouts, regret, shame, trying and failing to drink less or quit. Hi, I'm Jonathan, founder of Or Health. I know how scary drinking too much can be because I struggled with alcohol misuse for most of my adult life. But I also know that it is possible to drink less or quit. And medication can help. Naltrexone is a safe, effective medication that makes it easier to cut back or quit drinking, so you don't have to rely on willpower alone. I started Or Health to make access to Naltrexone convenient and private, to help people like me regain control over alcohol.
If you're ready to stop drinking or just drink less, text BACK to 323232 to get a secure link to Or Health's private online assessment. Our licensed medical professionals will evaluate your assessment, and if medication is right for you, prescribe it online. We'll deliver your prescription right to your door. No doctor's office visits required. Text the word BACK to 323232 to get started today. That's BACK to 323232.
Consumer Cellular offers the exact same nationwide 5G coverage as the major carriers, even in bumper-to-bumper traffic. Their 100% US-based support is just a click or a call away. Visit your local retail store in St. Louis to switch today.
At 12:30, we've got sunshine and 63 downtown at the Arch.
CBS News Special Report.
Bergman. Jordan. Fire.
We are following the latest on Capitol Hill now, where voting is underway in the House for its next speaker. And Jim Jordan does not appear to have enough support right now. CBS's Errol Barnett is keeping close tabs.
Congressman Bacon, he voted for McCarthy. Congressman Buck, I don't believe, issued a vote. And Congresswoman Chavez Derrima voted for McCarthy.
These are essentially write-in votes for former Speaker Kevin McCarthy, who was ousted by his own party a few weeks ago. CBS's Scott McFarland tells us that is not good for the GOP's latest nominee, Jim Jordan.
And let's add another one. Anthony D'Esposito of Long Island has voted for another alternative as well. So you're at 4 others. This is not going to happen for Jim Jordan on the first ballot. That much is becoming clear in the early voting.
He'd need 217 votes to win. CBS News Special Report, I'm Monica Ricks.
We've got some construction in the left lane of 70 going west at Zumble. The left lane there is closed, 70 west at Zumble. We've got some more road work on 70 east before Cave Springs. Truman has the left lane closed. And areas of fog moving out today, otherwise sunny and nice with a high about 70. For tonight, clear, low 49. Tomorrow's high 76. At the moment, downtown at the Arch, sunshine and 63. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Hi, this is Ken. And Laurie Heisey of Heisey Advisory Group. We're dedicated to helping individuals and families work toward their financial goals. Join us Sundays at 9:30 a.m. for Your Retirement Highway.
Investment advisory services by individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Broadcasting from the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studios.
KMOX.
Your home has made you equity rich on paper, and you're planning on using that cash to retire, travel, or just downsize into a new place that's paid off. Well, good for you. But the longer you wait, the greater chance higher interest rates could chip away your home's value. While your home value is still high, the time to act is now with Truehold. Truehold buys your home now, and you can stay in your home for as long as you want. Truehold buys your home for its best current value, and you bank the cash to do whatever you like, while Truehold takes care of property taxes, insurance, and upkeep. Don't miss this opportunity to cash in on your equity and stay in your home as long as you'd like as a renter. Visit Truehold.com and discover how much Truehold will buy your home for today based on its best current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without having to move. That's Truehold.com.
Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes talks football, family, and more. Monday nights during Sports Open Line. Only on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
Amy Marks Kors and Chris Ranji on KMOX. Got the Dave Glover Show coming up at 1. We'll hang out for an hour with the Dave Glover crew. But now we go back to the Quiver River Electric guest line today as the conflict is happening in the Middle East. You wonder what that might do to the economy worldwide, here at home, how it might affect you on a personal level. Dave Simons is a senior vice president at UBS Financial with us on the Quiver River Electric guest line. Good afternoon, Dave.
Hello, Chris. Hello, Amy. How are you guys?
Oh, we're doing great, and it's
Doing
good to
well.
have you part of the show again today. So, of course, we are all wrapped up in what is happening half a world away. But when something like that is going on, it has effects back here where we are. How might this conflict, depending on how long it goes on, end up affecting the American economy overall?
Well, yeah, you kind of touched on it and how you phrased that question, Chris, how much or how long this will go on, because that really is going to make a major difference. Right now, Wall Street, the thing about Wall Street investing, it's an election every day. You know, we have a big election here 13 months from now, but when it comes to investing, we vote basically every day on what we think the economy is doing right now and where we think it's going in the near term. And right now, investors collectively have given kind of a big shoulder shrug to what's happening over there in the Middle East. I know it sounds callous, but that's just the way that investors are seeing these things, that their belief it will be relatively contained and that oil prices will not spike. And believe it or not, even me, and 30 years of experience, I would not have guessed that after 7 business days since this happened, that the stock market would be higher, that oil would only be up about 3.5%, and gold, which is also historically a safe haven that people run to when these kinds of geopolitical events break out, that gold would only be up a few percentage points. So it's kind of a big meh right now on Wall Street.
Isn't that the crux of the issue? Everything on Wall Street will hinge on whether or not it's contained. Because once you get more actors involved, then that changes the dynamic.
Look, what's the biggest fear everybody has? Nobody really wants to discuss it, but the old WW3, right? And we all are hoping and praying, of course, it doesn't get there. But if Iran gets involved and then you get other players like Russia takes advantage, and, so we've got a couple of our big ships over there, and we're getting 2,000 troops deployed just to kind of give some advice. But if this thing morphs into something, investors can't ignore it anymore. But right now, they believe it will be relatively contained, and they're focusing here 100% domestically. And the numbers are still pretty good. The corporate earnings are coming in better than expected. Inflation still a little higher than the Fed likes, but still coming down. And so overall, the U.S. economy is doing well, and that's entirely what Wall Street's focused on right now.
Do you think it's a little surprising that the stock market, gas prices, whatever it may be, aren't that affected right now, because it does seem like, especially with gas prices, they're like, oh, well, nobody liked the ending of Seinfeld, and that makes people grumpy, and now the gas prices are going up, and yet we have this conflict over there that is not really affecting things economically here in the States.
Yeah, a lot of people are comparing this to, the last major outbreak with Israel, the Yom Kippur War, and exactly 50 years ago, and oil prices spiked, and then there goes the 1970s inflation spiral that we could never get control of. But people need to remember that we were the world's largest oil importer 50 years ago. We are now the world's largest exporter because of the fracking revolution. So we are much less dependent. And I think that's one reason why oil prices have stayed somewhat relatively stable. So I'll take you back to more than a year and a half ago when Russia invaded Ukraine. Now we know we're all smarter now because we've seen how this thing has played out. But I think every one of us pretty much assumed Russia would not only roll into Ukraine and that would be over in a week, but there was a lot of fear. Okay, is Poland next? I mean, what's going on? And yet, even then, go back and look. Oil prices were stable. The stock market actually went up in the early days when there was still fear that this thing was going to morph into something more serious. You go back and look at history, guys, and that's really the history of it. Geopolitical events, even of this magnitude, almost have zero impact historically on our domestic financial markets. It's only when it extends out and goes for a lot longer time period do you potentially see it turn negative.
Financial expert here, Dave Simons, host of Dollars and Cents, with us on KMOX. Why does it seem like, and this is a very simplistic thought I have, but why does it seem like the stock market sometimes is more affected by a tweet than it is by a war?
That's a great point, but you're exactly right. Look at it this way. Okay, so we are all concerned about, as Americans, what's happening, and we've all had it's been a gut-turning series of videos that we've seen out of that. All of that is true. But does that stop anyone from going to Home Depot to buy supplies to renovate their kitchen? Is that stopping somebody to go to Apple to upgrade their new phone or to go to Applebee's tonight? And the answer is, of course, no. So the U.S. economy is still humming along. We see the headlines, we see the horrible videos, but it's not stopping the consumer, who is still very strong. We're continuing to get consumer spending data that is surprising even the most bullish economists. So something that's happening out there is still really good. And that gets back to what Wall Street's focusing on. It's like, yeah, that's terrible over there, but for now, they don't see it impacting the U.S. economy at all.
Do you see, and I know there are unforeseen events, COVID and things like that, but if the conflict in Israel right now is not affecting the economy, with foreseeable or anticipated events, is 2024, the election season, is that the next biggest thing that could affect the economy?
I think so on that, Amy. I think people right now are still focused on the inflation front and what the Fed is going to do. The general consensus is the Fed is done raising rates. And that's another reason why the market has been behaving better, because we think that long cycle that's a year and a half in length now is done. The ninth inning is over. But you're right. Then it starts to turn into the heat of the political campaign, which will really start going at the end of the first quarter next year when the primaries start. But even there, historically, elections do not have a negative impact, even when it's, that guy won. Oh, that's going to be horrible for the economy. When Donald Trump won in 2016, all kinds of cries that the economy was going to crash, and it didn't happen. When Joe Biden won in 2020, everyone was concerned, or at least people on the right said, oh my gosh, here it goes. I can't believe it. I should sell everything in the market. And yet 2021, one of the strongest years we've had in recent years. So elections really don't have the impact, just like geopolitical events, on the economy as people think.
Well, and I know that as far as the stock market goes, it likes a slow-moving government. It likes the laborious constitutional processes. Does the stock market like the fact that we don't have a Speaker of the House, which means nothing's getting done, which means nothing's changing?
To a point, that's a great question. Yes, to a point. I will tell you this, Wall Street loves a divided government. We can go back and look at 100 years of data, and when Congress is divided between Republicans and Democrats, where one controls that House, that party controls the Senate, stock market generally does very, very well. And then whoever controls the White House. Do you know the worst performing stock market in history, historically, have been when one party controls everything? So you do want divided government. Now, we have basically no government functioning right now.
That's right.
And the market's okay with that. But if that were to continue and this turns into a clown show even more, then I think you'll see a cap on the upside of the market, because then it just gets embarrassing for the country.
There's a lot more space in that car, that clown car.
Yeah.
Plenty. Like
Somebody get these guys an Astro van? What's going on?
Clowns in that car. So we know that housing prices have skyrocketed a significant amount over the last couple of years. It doesn't appear to be just a U.S. problem. This does appear to be around the world. Do you see any calming of that anytime soon? And it's not just the rates, it's the actual prices of housing.
That is one of the outside of the stock market. That's probably what I talk about on the show and what I write about in my commentary more than anything else, because there have been calls for some kind of a housing, I don't know if crash is the right word, but people have been expecting some kind of major decline. And I have been on the other side of that argument, mainly because of the supply-demand equation. It's Econ 101. You would think with mortgage rates topping 8% that the housing market would really suffer. Now, we've seen actual sales go down a little bit, but prices, to your point, Chris, you're exactly right. Prices have been very stable and are still going higher because the lack of supply. So you can have demand coming down, but supply is still historically really low, and that has stabilized prices. And you know what? That's not going away anytime soon, because a lot of developers are not exactly chomping at the bit to go out and build a lot of new homes around the country, not while we've got these 8% mortgage rates.
Well,
okay.
So everything's great.
Quick follow-up question.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know we got to let you go. I read, and maybe I misunderstood the headline because it can be deceiving, but it was kind of a glancing thing that Canada is on a housing bubble. Do you know anything about that? And if so, does Canada's housing market affect us much?
No, it really doesn't, but you're exactly right. That's what the headlines show. And I think that they have a little bit more of a potential issue than we do. They economically have not rebounded from COVID like we have. They're not as strong right now. Their unemployment rate is actually higher. That's something that we do look at, but it typically does not bleed into this economy because we're exponentially larger. So, and by the way, a quick plug, all these things and more I'll be discussing tonight. I'm filling in for At Your Service from 8 to 10 tonight. So I'll be talking about all this stuff.
All the stuff that you need, all the financial advice and news and opinion, get it from Dave Simons. He'll be on tonight, 8 to 10 o'clock here on KMOX. Dave, thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Amy. Have a great day.
Dave Simon, Senior Vice President at UBS Financial Services, host of Dollars and Cents. And tonight, he'll be on from 8 until 10 o'clock here on KMOX. That is after Sports Open Line. So the vote for U.S. House Speaker is not going Jim Jordan's way. As of right now, Hakeem Jeffries has 212 votes. Jordan has 200, and others have 20. So he is not going to get it on this first vote.
Well, what a surprise.
The Democrat's getting more votes than he is.
I don't know. You're right about the clown car. That's how they go to lunch, probably.
Hey, this is a huge day in Cardinals history, a great anniversary.
I remember
of a
where I
great
was.
moment. I remember where I was too.
Yeah.
We'll bring that to you when we come back. It's Chris and Amy on KMOX.
Well, this might be the worst time of year for my eyes as a contact wearer. I think it's whatever gets stirred up when the leaves start to die and the fall winds blow. It's my favorite time of year. I love running through Forest Park in the leaves, but my eyes get itchy, my contacts bother me, and that's when I know it's time to head on over to the Ophthalmology Associates. Now, for me, it's itchy eyes, but maybe you're getting headaches. Have you been dealing with headaches lately? You're like, oh yeah, I think I have. When was the last time you met with an eye doctor who checked your vision with the latest tools and techniques to make sure you have the right eyeglasses or you have the right contacts? It's easy to take it for granted and to just keep ordering, new maybe you get the new glasses because you like the new style, but your prescription's the same. Or maybe the contacts, you just keep ordering them, not realizing your eyes change. It could be that you have eye strain. An eye strain, which is easy to reduce with the doctors at Ophthalmology Associates, that could cause your headaches, and you want that to go away. The doctors at Ophthalmology Associates are Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, Andy Royer, and the newest member of the team, Samuel Berry. Call them today, 314-966-5000, 314-966-5000, yourEyeDoc.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This is a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test. This has been a test of the emergency alert system. This was only a test. Red Kingdom is back at Valley Sports Live at Ballpark Village this Sunday. It's the Chiefs and Chargers. Pre-game at 2, kickoff at 3:25. Grab your friends along with KMOX and Bud Light and huddle up for the game at the best watch party in town. For more details on how to reserve your table, head to KMOX.com/events. Watch the Chiefs with KMOX and Bud Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL. Easy to Sunday, easy to enjoy.
Men suffering from ED or PE, you'll see instant results on your first visit at Paramount Men's Medical Center. For a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free. You'll even get a gift that enhances your performance in the bedroom. Call now, 314-720-8081.
AMCO presents Bet You Didn't Know.
Bet you didn't know that your car's transmission is made up of 800 pieces. Also, bet you didn't know that AMCO's fixed over 40 million transmissions, and that AMCO offers a nationwide warranty.
AMCO offers easy payment plan options for most any credit situation, so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow at AMCO.
That's AMCO, AA, MCO.
SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL. 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
Chris Ranji. Wonderful bones. Great eyes, and you dress really interesting. On KMOX.
Yeah, unless something changes here, and I think you can change votes before they're finalized, if I'm not mistaken. But Hakeem Jeffries has 212 votes. Jim Jordan has 200. 20 other Republicans voted for a combination of McCarthy and Scalise, pretty much. So Jim Jordan will not be the Speaker of the House on this first vote, but there will be subsequent votes. Texter says, "Are you sure there's more room in the clown car, Chris? All 200 House Democrats are in there regarding the current debacle." Hey, man, we're not in this position without the Republicans. It was not Republicans that moved to oust Kevin McCarthy.
You mean
Or it's not
Democrats?
Democrats. It was all Republicans. Literally all Republicans. So that's not my problem.
Yeah, we
And-
did this. Don't take credit for our mess.
No, help save us from ourselves. No, fix it, man. It's your party. Hey, big anniversary. One
Yeah.
of my favorite sports moments ever. And this happened back in 2013. So it was, I'm sorry, no, not 2013, it was 2005. What am I talking about? So 2005 NLCS. You remember the Cardinals. They were down against the Houston Astros on the road in Houston, and they were about to lose. The Astros were about to go to the World Series, and then this.
Burke deep out in left center. Tavares pulled over into a right center. Lane pacing in his right field position. Albert digs back in. Open stance, deep in the box. Bends at the knee. Holds it down on the end. Lig is ready. With 2 on and 2 out. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It's coming. Swinging a long one. There it is, baby. The Cardinals take the lead as Albert Pujols comes through in the pit. And the Redbirds lead this baby 5-4. What'd I tell you, folks? David Eckstein, the man. This could be a crushing blow to the Houston club. Albert Pujols, you talk about a most valuable player. How is that, baby?
Wow. That was, so I was at work. I was at work in Chicago at the time, working at the station that night, watching it in my little studio. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
What an unbelievable moment. And that was the year the White Sox went to the World Series. And I'm thinking, oh, we're going to have a Sox Cardinals World Series.
Yeah.
And it was going to be my dream. I was so excited about that. But then if you believe in these off the field motivational moments.
Yeah.
One happened on the plane ride back for the Astros. They were on the way to St. Louis to play Game 6. All they had to do was win Game 6. And Brad Lidge, who gave up that home run, and it was not like it didn't just get over the wall.
Oh.
That was absolutely smoked. So they're on the flight back to St. Louis, and the pilot gets onto the speaker and announces to the cabin. So keep in mind, this is a chartered flight.
Yeah.
It's only Houston Astros on the flight. That's how these teams travel. And this is according to Brad Lidge. The pilot says, if you look out your left, you can see, whatever's out there. But if you look to your right, you can see Albert Pujols' home run still flying by.
Oh my gosh.
And
How?
So what happened was Brad Ausmus, who was the catcher of the Astros, told the pilot to say it. And when he told the pilot to say that, I guess everybody on the plane laughed about it. And there was a real heavy cloud just hanging over everybody because they were, like a strike away from going to the World Series, and then they blow it in a magnificent fashion.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all down and they're coming to St. Louis and they're whatever. And that just lifted that cloud for everybody because they had a good laugh and maybe they reset. So it's possible, if you believe in this stuff, it is possible that Brad Ausmus saved it for the Astros.
If you're the pilot, would you have had the cojones to say
Well,
that?
if another player is putting me up
You
to
wouldn't think, but it was the pilot.
I know.
I would feel like I can't trust this guy.
Also, I'm the pilot. What are you going to do?
I'd be like, I can't say that. You say it.
When I'm saying I'm the pilot, what are you going to do?
Oh, yeah.
I'm in charge here,
Yeah.
baby. I'm the pilot.
Get out of the cockpit.
Anything you missed on the Odyssey app, download it, AUDACYKMOX.com. Really fun stuff today. Good stuff today. Amy Marks, Kors, and Chris Ranji back with you at 10 o'clock right here on KMOX.
Please clap.
Hi, this is Dr. Brad Schaefer. As a podiatrist, I can tell you no two people's feet are alike, which is why I recommend Dr. Scholl's custom fit orthotic inserts. They're customized for your feet, so you get a unique solution your feet really need, not just a one-size-fits-all